All of your gullible idiot followers should be realizing right now that you are an idiot or you are a liar. You said you would get turned away at gunpoint. I did not get turned away at gunpoint. You lied, Nathan.
The sun is shining, he's alone, raging into his iPhone, screaming at the top of his lungs as a 24-hour sun. Oh, how we laughed in this fat land at such a comical sight. To see the tune, the globe-head goose spewing out his shite. Shouting! Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I'd see. I'm all alone here raging. Everyone loves and blame. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this and our secret bit. Not come all this distance just for you to take the piss. The ice wind's blowing, here he goes, pacing like a lunatic, upside down on a spinning globe, but the best is yet to come. Oh, how we laughed in this fat land at such a comical sight. To see me tune the glove-head goon spewing out his size, screaming. Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I'd see. So I'm all alone here raging. Everyone laughs at me. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this and our secret place. I've not came all this distance for you to take the piss. The sun is shining, he's alone, reaching into his iPhone, screaming at the top of his lungs as a 24-hour sun. Oh, how we laughed in this fat land at such a comical sight. To see me tune the glove-head goose spewing out his shite. Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I'd see. So I'm all alone here raging. Everyone laughs at me. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this and our secret place. I've not came all this distance for you to take the piss. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this and our secret place. I've not came all this distance for you to take the piss. Get some, get some. Damn it. There it is, there it is. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this and our secret place. I've not came all this distance for you to take the piss. Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I'd see. So I'm all alone here raging. Everyone laughs at me. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this and our secret place. I've not came all this distance just for you to take the piss.
Imagine this. You are a dumb liar. Every single one of your dumb followers needs to look at their lives and realize Nathan Oakley is a liar. Since 2016, he's been saying if you go to Antarctica, you will be faced with gunpoint and turned away. Where's the guns, Nathan? Where's the guns? I don't see any guns, Nathan!
Where's the guns, man? And we're off. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Let's go ahead and ask him right now. Where's his damn guns at, Nathan?
Wait, where's the upside down editing? Who did that? Well, whose version's that?
It's in Antarctica.
I know why it's done, but I just wondered whose version is that?
It was because well, we went to get it from Mr. Cheswick, but he had to take all his stuff down, and QE wanted it quick, so that was one I was able to find on Rumble. Because other people have picked it up. You'll see these bits and overlays and like that, turning it upside down. So, outside of our little sphere of influence, if you know what I mean. So
no pun intended.
The only place we could get it from. Yeah, well, pun intended. Yeah, it was intentionally.
There is, I like
yeah,
this.
that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything more? So, where's the guns at, Nathan?
It's their pain, man. This is their pain. I've only realised this in the last month, maybe even the last 2 or 3 weeks. Right? This is all projection.
That's a non-answer.
That's a non-answer. That's right, Flatsy. Ask him again, Flatsy.
Where's the guns, Nathan?
It's just pure projection. Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to. Go ahead.
Their fears. He's what Toon wants is. That's why I laughed while I was on mute for your show. Good job I was, because I burst out laughing when I saw it upside down. I'm like, okay, that's what he wants. He wants to affirm his bias that he's upside down in Antarctica. It's what we've talked about for months and months and months prior to Antarctica visits by flurfs and glurfs, which is to say the antipodal assumption of Antarctica is what they want to affirm. So when he gets there, he wants to believe he's upside down on a ball. Okay, I stand in the way of that by pointing out that it's an antipodal assumption and that we're measuring a flat Earth. So he needs something to relieve that pain, and his projection of that, which he wants Antarctica to be, the upside down hilarious images that we've just had, aren't me saying there's no guns, aren't me saying you can't go there. He wants that to be the case, doesn't he? There you go, now I'm done.
He just wants to eat his boogers. I would like to bring up, this one always stops me. I'm going to share it with everyone because I spoke to this many years ago. We're going to touch on it again because I think it's striking, especially to just your average glober, right? There is no way that you can deny this. Let's say, conceptually, you're out here in Narnia, right? You're in their paradigm. You're out there in the vacuum of space. You have a camera, you're a telescope, a very powerful telescope, right? And you're looking at the baltard floating around in their void. And there is no way around, if you zoom in and keep zooming in and zooming and zooming and zooming, that you must see what is here inside these magnifying glasses. There is no other way. Are you feeling me out there? You must.
It's one of those.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I thought you were done. Well, I was going to say, it's one of those where you're taking something that, on the surface, said with a different intonation, seems really obvious. Well, yeah, like I've just said. Toon wants to believe he's upside down in Antarctica, like in this bottom magnifying glass. Now, you say it with a different intonation. It must simultaneously hold true that you are both dangling off the bottom of a ball while simultaneously having others standing on the top of it. And that's what it looks like when you put it in this frame. Now, you say that with the disdain that we now hold for it, and it's suddenly a wake-up call rather than a, yeah, well, duh, yeah, we know, we're on a ball, which is how it's taken when you say it with a different intonation. Do you know what I mean? You can say the same thing 2 different ways and get very different reactions from the same sentence.
Yes. Now, is there any other way? I used Hawaii in my example. If you remember back in the day, I was out here and I had a ship sideways. And I made the same claim. And then when I seen it on this video, I said, yeah, you guys got it. Yeah. So this is one of these ground squirrel level reasoning things. You know, these types of thingies. There is no way around this. From this perspective, you must see this, globetards. What's the rebuttal to this? What would be the rebuttal to this?
It's not just a rebuttal to it. It's their claim, like I say.
There's no way out of this. Adam.
Yeah, well, I totally agree, as Nathan said, yeah? It's not for them to report, it's for them to embrace.
Yes.
Their reality.
Yeah.
Superchat.
It's super crazy perspective right here.
Flatten the curve, Scent. I'll be the first to wet your beak.
Wet that big. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Is there another one out there? Or is that the only one?
So far, the only one, and it was there before you went live.
Turn your mic up, too, by the way.
Can you hear me?
You need to say a little bit more than "can you hear me," or is that good?
I'm okay. Just want to make sure that I'm loud and clear.
Am I going to have to turn you up?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to turn you up. All right. Well, I'll do that in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, the prosecution rests. It's just this simple. That's it. Really, that's it.
We can, of course, prove that that's nonsense by the pitch data.
Sure.
It's only the picture on the one on the right, maybe not the boat, but with pitch data, we can demonstrate that that does not happen.
Well, what I'm saying here is, for the Kant-Fogomerians, it's over, right? I don't have to say anything, do I?
Wait, this is Ball Earth 101. I would say it's not something to reject or, it's to embrace.
I agree. I thought I'd share that.
You believe that?
Every time I play this, did you guys guess the right intro?
But we've gone further than that.
What's the question? Do we guess what intro?
Yeah, because it seems, I've been told that during the time that I say goodbye to them and the start of the show, they try to guess what intro I'm going to play.
That's a guess, right? And then you accidentally flashed up the sun before I had a chance to make a guess, which I was going to say anyway.
Oh, I forgot.
She's made a bigger prediction. She's gone larger than this, mate. Patsy, what's your prediction?
What's that? About what?
He's not listening.
No.
I couldn't help it. I'm dealing with Booger right now.
I'll carry on.
I screwed up.
Booger. Sorry.
Go ahead, Flatsy. Booger what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I screwed up, and before the show, I shared my screen, and then I was going through different tabs, and I accidentally pulled this one. That will not happen again.
Yeah. No, but Flatsy guessed first. It's just you didn't give me a chance to guess.
Gotcha. Check it. All right. Let me pull this back and make sure we're good to go for the ending.
Not finished.
Huh?
I've not finished. I said she'd made a bold claim. She's predicting you're going to go with Where's the Guns for Ballbusters and then Home Depot for QE Live.
That's assuming. She's assuming a lot that there will be a QE Live, because last week there wasn't a QE Live.
Yeah, but if there is, that'll be the music you'll use.
Well, that you're poisoning the well now. Now I'm going to go away from it.
Well, it wasn't my claim. It was hers. I think you'll use Quantum Eraser on times, but never on a Ballbusters Live.
You ruined the prediction because you told him, and now he'll do it differently because somebody guessed how he was reasoning, which one he'd do.
Flatsy, I just said that. Why?
Good. Well, then the game continues, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it
Otherwise,
does.
the game would have ended.
Yes, it does. Now, that's right. The game gets a little more interesting come Tuesday. Just wanted you to know.
Ooh.
Yeah, the game is afoot. All right, what am I going to do? So we might as well just get this out of the way right now.
Oh, God. Get it over and done with.
It doesn't... I can't make this any larger. I don't know why. There's something...
Neither could he. That's why he had to go back for a second one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been telling you for years and years and years now that we're dealing with booger eaters. Okay? You all heard that. Now we have somebody that was literally videotaped live doing that same thing. I hope everyone can see that. Now,
That's
isn't
YouTube.
It isn't McBooger Eater. It is his butt brother.
Wait.
What?
It's not on.
Yes,
YouTube.
it is.
Oh, it is now.
Shut
That's
up.
a hell of a lag.
Yeah, there is a lag.
Oh, no. It's on 2 screens now.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm just showing you this as a point. Now, in the beginning, I said they were all booger eaters, and I was prophetic because now we have Fight the Tight Shirt digging to China and making a sandwich. This is not a hoax. It's not made up. This is actual video footage. He's live.
Taken to China. Worse than that.
He got
it's
his
a left-right combo. It's a double dip, one in each, same finger in both nostrils.
Ew, can we stop this?
Yeah, viewer discretion is advised.
I put a disclaimer in the YouTube chat to look away if you have a sensitive stomach.
Oh, boy. If you have Crohn's disease, look away. Although it's too late.
I beat you to the punch.
Yes, you did. I just wanted to make sure, everyone, that my claim proved prophetic. I knew it deep down. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Get that out of the way. All right, we don't have to look at that anymore. Any comments? I guess not. People aren't surprised? No?
I'm not surprised at all.
Say again?
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. All right. So, what are we going to do today? Nothing? No? All right.
You've been deserted and it's just really noisy where I'm at. Otherwise, I'd be helping you out.
Okay.
You needed help.
I don't need help. As far as you know. Heck just fell down behind me. It's raining cats and dogs here, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're just getting... It's been a windy, rainy, tornado, hail-filled spring. I want out of this. I've had enough. It's done. Finished with it. But nope, got to put up with it today, tomorrow, on Easter Sunday, for goodness sakes. But that's
On
what I
that
get. What?
topic,
What?
Oh, well, I did it in chat, but I didn't get the opportunity to wish everybody a happy Easter. So, happy Easter. On another topic, where did Ali go? The more flat earther than you.
Oh, did you hear him? He said, I'm much more flat earther than you are, Ali. So, Muhammad, where'd you take off to?
He went off. I thought he was going to come in and give us something special this evening, but he's gone.
No. No challenge. I can turn Flatsy up since I'm here. Let's go, Flatsy. Try it one more time. Give me a whole sentence.
What am I doing?
Give me a whole sentence.
I'm giving you a whole sentence. I am disciplining Booger right now, so I'm sorry that I am kind of AFK.
Okay, fair enough. You sound good. We're good.
I've got a slight request, believe it or not, from Clover, as she was in the room while I was telling everybody that there was a lot of noise. She wants to say something to the audience. Go ahead, Clover.
Happy Easter!
There you go. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, Clover!
That was pretty sweet.
Encouraging.
Tell her she lacks enthusiasm.
That's definitely not true.
You don't got to turn her up.
No, I didn't have to. No, she was much louder than Nathan is, too.
Because I just talk normally and she's yelling down my microphone. Better that than my ear hole.
All right, so what should we do today? Let's go off the beaten path a little bit. This arrived in my recommendeds, and this was, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know, somewhere around there. Doesn't matter anyway. And I looked over and I said, that's kind of interesting. It's James Tour, and he was giving a lecture in front of some Harvard students. And I said, you know what? Let me check this out. So I ran it through once, Wednesday or Thursday, and I said, this is what we're going to do Saturday. And this has some ramifications back in my early days. So this is sort of a personal thing. Now, it's not directly connected to Flat Earth, although some things are going to come out about the globetard, obviously. This has to deal with more of abiogenesis, or what I like to call it, abiogenesis. And I like the Harvard students. I like that aspect of it, and I wanted to see where this was going to go. Now, I'm not overly concerned with the technical aspects of because he's an outstanding chemist, right? Organic chemistry, this guy's acumen is beyond reproach. So we're not, even if I wanted to, I couldn't, because his stuff's wired tight. But I can remember back in the day, right around 2010, 2011, I'm out there, dealing with evotards and issuing them some serious friggin' dragging around by the short hairs. And for a period of time, I had a lot of people, asking me, hey, what do you think about James Tour? His name would pop up a lot, right? I never really paid attention because I hadn't heard of him. So, but it got to a point where so many people were asking, I said, okay, who is this guy? Right? So then I went just to, not a full-fledged, crucible, but just went in to superficially find out what the hell are these guys even talking about. So, obviously, he's a Christian, right? So they figured I knew him because he was a Christian, and he was talking a lot about abiogenesis, or abiogenesis, as I like to call it. And I said, okay. Now, I was looking at, I can't remember whether I was looking at videos or at a website or it was something. I can't remember. It's too long ago. But a couple things stood out to me that I didn't remember until I played this video the other day. And then I said, that's why. So I had not some quite glowing things to say about him back in the day. And I'd just like to preface it again by saying, not against his organic chemistry acumen at all. It's not about that. It's against his discernment and his reasoning ability. So, like I said, we're going to go over that. You'll see why here in the first few minutes, probably. We'll see. I can't remember exactly when it'll get there. But obviously some statements about the globetard and, outer space and stuff are going to come up. Just, it's the nature of the beast. Right, so I figured we'd go this route today, kind of take a little bit of a break, provide some mercy to some of the anti-flat earthers and globetards out there. You got to give them a little mercy. I was dealing with some death blows this morning, though, on that same Discord channel that Nathan got banned from.
Superchat.
Super banning.
Sasha sent, good luck, Flatsy, Seraton, Escrers, Estistos. I don't know how to say all these things. What does that even mean, Sasha? Vaskris.
First one is Sretan Uskrs. Second one is Christos Voskrese. First one is saying Happy Easter. Second one is saying Jesus is born. No, sorry.
Well, okay.
Jesus is now born.
Resurrected.
Yeah. Sorry, resurrected. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nathan.
I just said risen. Oh, he was fishing for the word.
I could walk out in my hallway, and at the end of my hallway, there's a big placard right there on the wall. It says, "He is risen." I seen it this morning. Shout out to my wife. All right, so we don't want to get into this right now. You guys seem a little bit lackadaisical. Adam, you ready?
Well, I mean, if we need to.
You guys seem low to me today. What is going on?
Emotionally or?
No, with the audio.
Acoustically.
Mic check 1 2.
That's low too.
That was low, but they are not low.
Interesting. All right, no problem.
I'm turning everyone up. Damn, we got Flat Earth Ranger 90 in here. You come over, you thought you could just come over and come on to the show because you're not a pug?
Yep, that's right.
Got that right. Welcome. All right, let me get my act together, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll get right into it. Unless you had a comment. Any comments or concerns before we get started?
No, not really. I didn't have a clue about this bloke. So I asked my mistress, and there was a load of stuff come up, but the only thing that was notable was in last year, he debated cream of wheat.
Oh, yeah.
In 2023.
Yep.
Debate with Dave Cream of Wheat Farina, otherwise known as Professor Dave, AI says.
You call that a debate?
The reason I mention it is I just said, who is this guy in regards to abiogenesis? Because I didn't know. What I found interesting was that AI pulled up a debate with Cream of Wheat in 2023 as part of the listing of him. That's what I found notable.
Yeah, that's sort of strange. You would imagine it would come up with a bio of him or something, just to explain who he is. But why Cream of Wheat? That was a belly laugher. I have to admit to you, I watched about maybe 5 minutes of the beginning, and I knew what was going to happen because he's not going to overcome the science acumen. Or I'm sorry, let me back up. The organic chemistry acumen, because this guy's a synthetic chemist, so I'm not going to be calling him a scientist. All I'm saying is his organic chemistry acumen, take my word for it, and Adam will confirm after he listens to him for a few minutes that you ain't going to overcome it. All right, he's got his act together.
That was the only other bit I liked. So let me read the whole bit that he says, and I don't know any more than this. So in 2023, debate with YouTuber Dave Cream of Wheat Farina, in brackets Professor Dave, Tor challenged this field's claims, listing 5 unsolved problems, e.g. peptide formation, nucleotide synthesis, and asserting no significant process in 70 years. No researcher met his 60-day challenge to demonstrate solutions. So, sounds like my kind of guy from what I've read so far. So,
sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's wired tight. Yeah, you're going to see the problems come in. It's very strange. For a man of his intelligence and his acumen, I was shocked. But we'll get there. I'm not going to give it up. You'll hear.
We're going to get rocks from space to start the process.
It might be. Adam, I listened to this on Wednesday.
Sure.
I can't remember what I ate yesterday.
No, I'm only guessing in terms of its apologetics for the impossibility. Yeah.
I wonder if I should preface it because, I was all into abiogenesis and just dragging these people around by their short hairs. I mean, professors and everyone. And I wrote up a lot of information regarding this genre way back in the day. You know, I just kept it until now. I'm wondering if I should go over a little bit of that before we go into this.
I think we should go through microphones, just as interesting.
No, we're not going through damn microphones. We should go through your banning in politics. That's what we should go through.
I don't mind doing that. I got banned from politics for saying...
What?
I don't...
Unwarranted.
I don't want to say it. I hate saying the N-word. Makes me cringe because I just want to say the word that is used in place of the abbreviation. But I've got to start disciplining myself to do this, which is saying the N-word.
No. Somebody in chat has got a better one. Less the N-bomb. The N-bomb.
The N-bomb.
I can't keep dropping the N-bomb. Yeah.
Listen,
You were giving out N-bombs like Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, well, I had to go back. I had to go back because I was sleeping, so I didn't witness what had happened. So, like I said, that's why I was querying you on when it happened. But I said, the heck with your show. I went back to the live stream, and I found that it quite troubling that it could have been totally avoided. Why did you go on and on about it?
Because he's ignorant.
Okay, you tell him, Neil, as it's you that was also doing it on my show where I got banned. Thank you so much for joining in, Neil. You go ahead and answer for me.
The word is ignorant. That's what it means, right? What's wrong with saying that?
No, that wasn't it. Some other
me
person
saying it on my show, nothing, because it's my show. It's not my Discord server.
Right.
Now, sometimes I get a bit ahead of myself and forget that it's not my server. And, you know, my bravado of I'm in charge and then actually I'm not, I'm a guest here is quite funny. But sometimes you do forget that with certain aspects that you don't think it's concerning that it's not my show. In other words, the N-bomb isn't something that on my own show I would particularly concern myself with. That is to say, both the uncut and after show and live show are completely monetized.
Sure.
There's no demonetization happen to me because of using the N-word rather than just saying nigger, which is what I typically do.
But it wasn't you. It wasn't you. See, every now and again we'll get people coming on politics because it's live on YouTube, and they'll just say that word like 30 times in a row real loud because it's against TOS, the politics TOS. You follow? And they'll try to get them.
Well, that's why I got banned. That rounds out the query, because that's what you're putting out to the audience, and they might as well be informed at the end of this process back and forth between you and I, which is to say I broke their terms of service. Now, once it had been done, in my mind, because somebody else has done it, and then I've tried to defuse the word,
yep,
that's still against the terms of service. Doesn't matter. So, you know, take it on your chin. Hopefully they'll unban me eventually. We'll see.
We'll see. I'll have a talk with them. I was actually baffled because the gentleman came in and did that same thing that I just said that a lot of knuckle draggers, low life knuckle draggers do. They'll come on and do that, say it like 10 to 15 times in a row just to get thrown out and try to get the show in trouble. But you didn't let it go. You tried to more or less not justify it, but explain why it wasn't all that bad. And I'm sitting there, I'm listening to it and I'm sitting there, oh my God, they're going to ban him. You should have just let it go.
I should have done, but you don't. But what I want is something else, which is to say that Adam summarised it beautifully after the fact in the after show, which is to say, I want the guy who's trying to do what you just described, get the show taken down, get me demonetised, whatever their outcome that they're trying to achieve with that word. Honestly, I don't care. I'm not scared of this word that you're trying to use to do that with. In fact, I'll use it repeatedly. Like it's nothing. Like it's inconsequential to me because it is. But it isn't because it's against the terms of service. So.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. Let me have a discussion with those guys. I wanted to give it a couple days, let them simmer down. It's a hot topic because I got banned from there for the opposite, for the antithesis of that.
No, you didn't. Okay.
Yeah, it was. It partly was.
Let's hear. Adam's got a third take on this. So let's just hear Adam. Go ahead, Adam.
So there's a reason that Nathan's not got a YouTube issue, and it's because every time he used the word, it was contextualizing the critique of what had frustrated him, which is why he went over the top because this is old school stuff that we used to get porn bombed and F-bombed with PMARS or music bombed that they just tried earlier, okay? But that's the reality. What Nathan did was he overused the word consistently on purpose to demonstrate not scared of the word. There's no intimidation. Don't mean you'll ever catch me calling somebody that, but I will use it and keep using it in the correct contextualization. You, QE, called somebody a cracker, okay? End of.
Now, I said,
point.
now let's make it right. I said, you dumbass cracker.
Yeah, dumbass cracker. I apologise. Don't like to misquote. Now, I've got, YouTube doesn't have a problem with that. I didn't, other than going, come on, you knew what you was doing. You were over egging the pudding, which he did, but correctly to make the point, in my opinion, right? But unfortunately, you can't even use that word on Discord, apparently, even if you're discussing how people are trying to ruin the show by using it. So that's their terms of service.
Yes.
Different. So Nathan was banned, and I don't see a beef with them or anything, really. It's just, it is what it is.
Okay. Well,
good summary.
Yeah, okay. Well, like I said, I'll have a discussion with some of the mods over there. They're hypersensitive to it. So just want to let you know.
Nathan starts this out. He says, don't swear, or you might be kicked out. You'll be welcomed warmly back on the next show. Nathan will be warmly back when what? Whenever his ban's sorted. I assume it's not a perma ban for something like that. It's going to be a limited time.
Sure.
Reasonable rules of the place. There's no. I would imagine people. I've seen it in chat earlier. People would love to make a bigger issue out of this than what it was.
Sure.
But the reality is, what the issue was as described at the beginning. Another dumbass baller who has no argument coming in, and the only thing they can do is play music and then use the N-bomb, as a way of disrupting. Because what they can't do is take our argument apart or even address it, apparently now. They're back to, like I say, the childish behaviour of PMARS 6 or 7 years ago.
Well, that might be the case for PMARS, right? The guy that came in didn't do that, right? Which is, again, another reason why I can do this, because we're on Ballbusters now, we're not in politics. And the guy came in and played a clip, and I can't remember exactly what the clip was about. But the clip was saying, let's get rid of these niggers, or something like that. There was, you could tell from the guy who was saying its voice and the tone and the timbre and how he was putting it across that he just hated black people. He was a racist. There's no other words for it. Now, when I heard it, I know it was a soundbite, as in it wasn't the guy in the moment, because it's a clip. But that's then been put out there. It's in my show. It's in the politics server. So I feel obliged to diffuse that. Do you know what I mean? Because regardless of whether it's the what's in the heart of the guy who's playing the clip, it's in the heart of the guy who's in the clip. Now, it doesn't matter if that's come through fair means or foul, it came through. So suddenly I feel, no, I now need to address people who are scumbags. That's racists. Now, my description did use that word, overly use that word, again, for that purpose, to diffuse it. But it was my intention to say, this is what's in people's hearts, and that is what is important. Does this person hate black people? Yeah, he does. Then he's a scumbag. Doesn't matter what words he uses. That's what I was trying to get across to the audience. Now, in that, I had to say nigger, nigger, nigger over and over and over again to make light of it in the way that it doesn't matter if you use the word, it's what you think and feel that matters. Now, with PMARS, whether or not PMARS is a racist, I doubt it. He was doing it to be inflammatory, same as you've just described, Adam. That's to say, he's saying it verbally just because he knows that there's a good chance it will get me taken down with a TOC violation. So that's his heart. He hates me, not black people, and he's just using that word to do that. So it's something different in PMARS's heart. In this instance, I can't tell you what was in the heart of the guy who played the clip, just the guy who was in the clip. And it disgusted me, and I felt it did need addressing.
Okay.
No, I'm not accusing anyone. My indictment is that they're all absolute retards. PMARS, the other guy that did that. who have got no argument, but they're so desperate to try and disrupt this that they'll come in and behave like that, prepared. Like I say, sometimes they're prepared to make themselves look like idiots. Well, these guys are prepared to make themselves look like racists to disrupt a reasonable conversation. They're pathetic.
Yes. Exactly. The level that they'll sink to is, I'm more than happy to utilise the potential pain and suffering of both the racist and the race that they hate to disrupt the show. I'll sink that low. That's what it says. Exactly, Adam.
You know what it says to me?
2-7 offsuit.
You got it right on the button. That's a deuce 7 offsuit. I'm all in, baby, after that. Let's go. Yep, that's deuce 7 offsuit, but they're morons, and anyone that can fog a mirror knows that it's deuce 7 offsuit, but they'll continue to do it anyway. I can't explain what type of ICD-10 code that might be. That's above my pay grade or outside my scope. All right, so we can move on from that. Like I said, this is from Origin of Life Crisis. We're gonna, I said, we're gonna switch up the timbre here, right? But there'll be some. I'm sure. I think I heard a few comments concerning outer space and ages and stuff. So there'll be some connection. There always is, like I said. So this is from. Hold on.
Before you do start,
on. I'm not gonna press play. Just hold on. This is from this is from 6 days ago. This is from 6 days ago. It's called The Origin of Life Crisis. There is no crisis in this, by the way, so I don't know why he titled it. Rice, and he's from Rice University down there in Texas. Dr. James Tour, he calls out bad science. What? At Harvard. So that's what really got my attention. So I said, oh, Harvard students. And that's what it was, an auditorium. That's what got my attention. Go ahead, Adam. I'm not hitting play prematurely.
You know, I like a word. And abiogenesis, if you look at it, yeah?
We will.
You've got... Well, are you going to... It's covered, is it? Just the fundamental of
I'm going to cover it before we start the video. How about that?
Well, that's it. It's just its own paradoxical nature.
Yes.
Of what the word means.
Yes. Do we want to get there right now? Let's get there right now. Oh, crap.
I think you two are talking past each other. Stop a second.
Okay.
Adam was talking about the word itself, were you not, Adam? As opposed to the meaning behind the word, which is what you're about to go through, QE.
Yeah.
You not just mean literally the word, as in it rolls off the tongue, it's like silk. Abiogenesis, as in how that sounds, what the word is different.
Now, does abiogenesis roll off the tongue like silk, or does abiogenesis roll off the tongue like silk?
Both.
I would say the latter does. That's why I've always used that.
If you were to read it, you will conflate the A and the B. The reason I say it like that is because that's how the three components of the actual word are put together. Bio, meaning life, genesis, origin. Yeah? So biogenesis, it makes real sense.
Yes.
But then when you place the A without.
Yep.
So the origin of life without life. Something that's never been demonstrated.
Yeah, you do I thought about that before too. Yeah. You're a wise guy. Yep, but you're correct.
Wise guy, that was hilarious.
It was good. He's clever, right? There's no doubt about it. I had, like I said,
you're saying his humor's too smart for his own good. Yes, I'll agree with that too.
No, he's right. So it's important to define terms. Like I said, whenever you hear these, abiogenesis or abiogenesis, as I like to say, it spins off the law of biogenesis. This was from Biology Online. This is a very simple definition. It's been this way the whole time. I just want to stress to you, you see this word right here? Law. It is a natural law. Dr. James Tour, if you're listening, this is a natural law. Law of biogenesis. It states the principle stating that life arises from pre-existing life, not from non-living material. Spontaneous generation is encompassed within the law of biogenesis. By the way, it's the same damn thing, right? So, ergo, what the antithesis of the law of biogenesis obviously is A. You put an A in front of it, it makes it the opposite, right? So that's why it's abiogenesis. Remember, if it spins off a law, then the connotation is law-like. Everyone understand that. It is law-like. What this states, nature or natural law can create life from non-life. Does everyone understand that? Do you see how I did that? Yeah? Yeah? This is from non-life? Yeah, it can't do it. Nature cannot do it with the law of biogenesis. With abiogenesis, nature can. Can and not. Very important. It's subtle, but very important, especially in our discussion today. So, like I said, this is a stuff... Go ahead.
Could you please tell us, because I missed the part, if you don't mind going over it again. If not, I'll rewind and listen to it later. Why abiogenesis can create life from non-life? Is it because it's artificial?
Run that by me again.
It can't.
Maybe I heard you wrong. You said that biogenesis, the law of biogenesis is that nature cannot create life from non-life.
Yes.
Yeah. And you said abiogenesis can.
Yes.
Could you explain that part to me?
Well, it can't, but their position is abiogenesis. They're saying, what I'm just trying to hold them to their claims, that nature can create life from non-life. That's their position.
Yeah, when Adam...
All right, that makes more sense.
When Adam said it a second ago, he made it into a humorous aside with the same statement, whereas QE's just breaking them down and holding them to their actual claim.
But that makes more sense, because I was like, what? I was like, what the hell is he on about? Like, it was screaming, no, red alert to me. Sorry. Now I understand. They're claiming this nonsense.
Yes.
Okay, that's one. Thank you.
Yes, they term it that way because it's the antithesis of the law, natural law of biogenesis. Law. See, I keep stressing that, right? Yeah, don't forget it. So like I said, this is what I wrote up. This is from 2010 or something. I've added to it here and there, but this is old. Hey, Adam, you see this? The Big Kahuna? I even mentioned
this is what that's where I almost interrupted earlier, right? I was about to say, is that the originator of the... See, so everybody knows, the thing that's flashing in the corner whenever we speak is the Big Kahuna. That he called it, strangely, when we made it for the show, wasn't it? But is that where it came from? That's first phrase.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's too funny, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't really follow. Where did the Big Kahuna come from? Because I've heard the Big Kahuna used in various different contexts. Obviously, your Big Kahuna is the big flashing quantum eraser symbol. But what is it in this? I don't follow.
The Big Kahuna, this is something that I term this part of the discussion that I had against Evotards back in the day. So I just termed it the Big Kahuna. Now, the Big Kahuna, I'm sure... I don't know what it exactly means. I think it's a singer in Hawaii. I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you. I just liked how it sounded. Are you good? Can we get to the substance, to the cowbell now?
Yeah, I thought this was cowbell. My bad.
No, it's still cowbell. Somebody look up who the Big Kahuna is.
You know I'm already doing it.
Yeah, Adam's on it.
Sounds like a burger.
It is the Big Kahuna burger.
Yeah, that's a different context.
That was right then.
Okay, so, yeah, but these etymology and cultural origin. Hawaiian roots, which is probably where we'd have all guessed, I thought it was going to be a wave or something. The Big Kahuna is authentically Hawaiian, meaning an expert, priest, shaman, or professional in fields like healing, navigation, or canoe making.
Damn!
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Yeah. I do have some Hawaiian background there. I was stationed there for a few years back in the day, so I have some connection there.
1/8 Hawaiian.
You're 1/8?
Yeah, same. I was going to say, I went in a bar in Hawaii and put up my feet, and they knocked my feet down and said, "You're not the Big Kahuna," so I guess it means that you're not a big shot.
Ah, there you go. This one's a big shot. That's why I put it here. So this is what I wrote up back in the day. I said that the de novo appearance of just the physical functional molecules, DNA, RNA, and proteins, 30 mer or larger. These are 30 mer means polymer, the length of them. From their respective constituents, that is sugars, nucleobases, activated phosphates, and amino acids, make up proteins. Outside a living organism is such a fairy tale of epic proportions, it's difficult to express it in language. But I'll try. First of all, the origin of life, abiogenesis research, is an invalid scientific inquiry right out the gate. Unless somebody has observed life from non-life. Right? Because that's where it starts. Your dependent variable? Like I said, they skipped the first step of the scientific method, observe a natural phenomena. It's not conjure a phenomena. So all of this is outside scientific inquiry. That's the first Big Kahuna. I said it's tantamount. This is really old, man. This is cool. It's tantamount to observing scorch marks on my garage wall, then speculating that an invisible fire-breathing dragon caused it, then tripping over myself attempting to validate the existence of invisible fire-breathing dragons that lived in the deep, unobservable past. Yeah. I might need to be institutionalized. I loved it back then. I thought it was quite appropriate and quite apt. It covers all bases. It's also a complete argument for ignorance fallacy or a just so story and has quintessential characteristic that it can never be disproved. You can never disprove anything, an argument from ignorance fallacy, by the way. The statement. Their position, that is the atheist evotard position, is natural phenomena can create, like I said, or cause life from non-life. Fallacious argument, invalid scientific inquiry. It violates natural law. It's a heresy on many different fronts. But we're gonna entertain it for shits and giggles. So this is what I first come up with because I love my proteins. I'm a protein guy. So functional proteins first. Of the approximate 500 amino acids known, 23 of them are alpha amino acids, alphas. This was very important. This is very, very important. Alpha amino acids. All life requires and exclusively uses the 20 essential alphas. Number one, please show site source. I was even on my game back in the day of the natural formation of all 20 essential alphas from their building blocks. It's not going to happen. You don't have it. You don't have the starting materials. It's worse than that. We'll get to that in a few minutes. This is one of the dirty little secrets you never hear about. It's really quite mind-numbing, but they know they can whistle past the graveyard because of the utter ignorance and blind faith of their target audience. I said we could, in fact, stop right here. We could have stopped before that, by the way, but where's the fun in that? Yeah, I even had a sense of humor back then. Number two, once you get all the 20 alpha amino acids naturally, and you won't. Amino acids exist naturally as stereoisomers. That is, enantiomers. 50-50 mix. Doesn't have to be 50-50, but they're mixtures. Racemic mixtures. They're left and right-handed moieties for these amino acids. Now, sugars also have that chirality also. You don't have to worry about too much. It's just it's like a mirror image of the amino acids. Now, If you don't have the right...
Look at you go, you little pharmacist. Go on, off you go, you little chemist.
You little chemist, dude. I was an acronym back in the day.
Pharmacy.
Huh?
Adam's off mute. Adam, you're hot micing.
No, I'm not. I'm
Just
telling
joking.
him.
He was
you weren't.
excited. I'll continue. But life exclusively uses left-handed aminos. There are exceptions, but not material and outside the scope of our discussion because the right-handed ones are cause of disease, but I'm not going to get into that. To be functional proteins... What?
There is a great citation there. So when two quick ones, two quick drugs. Thyroxine, you'll see your packets labelled levothyroxine, left-handed, and thalidomide.
Thalidomide, yeah.
Yeah, but it was the other enantiomer, the right-handed side, that caused the fetal abnormalities.
Yep.
The left-hand side did no problems, still renamed and used today, and is perfectly okay as an antihistamine. But there you go. So that's a great example.
Yeah, there was a drug used back in the day with pregnant women, and it killed their kids. And they were right-handed.
It didn't necessarily kill them. It also caused severe deformations. Like I knew a customer's wife had a deformation as a result of, I can never say the word, thalidomide.
Thalidomide.
Got it.
Is that correct, Adam? Thalidomide?
No, thalidomide.
Thalidomide, that's it. Yep.
Thalidomide, yeah. Right, well, this woman had no arm from the wrist down as a result of it, so it's just an abnormality. No, I can't say that word. Abnormality.
Oh, God, stop. Abnormality.
See.
Yes, and that was brought on by right-handed. Yes, sir. Look at Adam. I knew I'd get his attention here. Now, really important, to be functional proteins, you not only need the primary structure, that's the sequence, the proper sequence, but secondary structure. And that speaks to the form. Form equals function motif, baby. One right-handed amino acid in the chain compromises the secondary structure. It makes that protein a football bat. It's unusable. And like I said, can cause diseases and bad things. This is another very important part right here. And it's going to be associated with our video today. In every single origin of life paper with amino acids or proteins and sugars, we'll get to that. We're not going to get to that, but we're going to get to that in my little spill right here. Take a look at the materials and methods section of these papers. Their other dirty little secret, you'll find every single time the word purification or equivalent. Because they sequestered, if proteins, then left-handed amino acids are chosen. If sugars, then the right-handed ones are chosen before they even start on their a priori fairy tale. It's so far beyond unacceptable investigator interference and proves the need for intelligent agency. You see, these people lose the plot because in order to prove abiogenesis, no investigator interference is allowed. Because it's a natural law. Supernatural law.
Mike 808 just sent you a super chat.
Appreciate it, Mike. So, keep this. I want this burned in your retina. Because you can't have any human interaction with these reactions whatsoever. Zero. They can't do it even with investigator interference, which is a tear-jerking belly laugher. But this is very important because it goes against they lost the plot. We'll be hearing this.
Can I make this?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Is this like the Haberstein formula?
Yes. Yeah. Abstractly, yes. Number 3, the delta G, and that's not a disco band from the 70s. The delta G for the polymerization of amino acids to form peptides or polypeptides is positive. That means it's non-spontaneous. This is a second law of thermodynamics. That's what this is.
This is
Violation. Violation.
It's not a violation yet.
Well, no, 'cause it's never happened. But this is the stuff of sci-fi.
Yep.
Yeah. I've mentioned this before. So, Doctor Who, the City of Death. For this to happen, right? Anybody who's educated and writes sci-fi recognizes this issue. So, in Doctor Who, City of Death, to make the primordial soup of nothingness be able to get somewhere, you have to have a spaceship travel back in time and explode 6 billion years ago on the surface of the Earth to get this thing. Because this thing is so key that to prove that abiogenesis is nonsense, yeah? Life only comes from life. It doesn't come from exploding cores of spaceships above a primordial soup of just precursors of amino acids. Yeah? So that's how sci-fi deals with it, because it recognizes the inherent problem here. That's why it's part of sci-fi.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. Number 4, peptide bond formation, that's protein formation, is condensation reactions. That is, peptide bonds won't form in water. You get it? They're condensation reactions. They're pushing out water. You can't have them in water. From both a thermodynamic and a kinetic point of view, peptide bonds won't form between two zwitterions in chemistry. A zwitterion is a hermaphrodite, formerly called a dipolar ion. It's a neutral molecule with positive and negative electrical charges. In some cases, multiple positive and negative charges may be present. This is a form of amino acids found in aqueous environments. So this is a train wreck of epic proportions right there. All over. I said you'd have better chances resurrecting Alexander the Great's horse than attempting even a cogent just so story of how this could be in the galactic universe a possibility, let alone actually physically, chemically forming a 30-mer functional protein naturally. You can't do it. It's impossible. Wait till James Tour gets on this. And this is even before we discuss primary structure, sunlight, which destroys amino acids and nucleobases, mono and bifunctional moieties, pH, cross reactions, Brownian motion, hydrolysis, and oxidation. This is all before that. It's dead before I even get here. I suppose, let's take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I suppose this is what the grand poobah of the origin of life research, Dr. Leslie Orgel, was referring to when he said in his last documented words before he died. From PLOS Biology, Leslie Orgel, he is the god of abiogenesis research. He was back there with Francis and Crick. He spent his life on origin of life research. This was his conclusion. However, solutions offered by supporters of geneticists or metabolist scenarios. Ladies and gentlemen, this is genes first or proteins first. That's what that means. However, solutions offered by supporters of genes first or proteins first that are dependent on if pigs could fly, hypothetical chemistry, are unlikely to help. He knew it. He put it right there for everyone to see. More than 50 years. They just whistled past the graveyard. He knew it. It's a belly laugher. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all this stuff down here. I just wanted to put this out. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when you said bitter ions, I thought, where are we going? Because that is, I mean, that is the point with regards to what you're saying with regards to water and stuff. But there's a level, I think, that just shows there's so many things that we know that show that this claim that you can get life from non-life is absolute bunkum. There's no real support, other than I alluded to, in sci-fi. Yep. When the cause is an exploding starship, it's that preposterous.
From a physical chemistry point of view, it's a belly laugher. But they can't even get there. And we'll talk about that here in a second. I like this because this was my game back in the day. So I really like talking about the chemistry, the biochemistry and stuff. And remember, we're not talking about biochemistry here because their position is abiogenesis. That's before life. So this isn't biochemistry. We're talking pure chemistry. Don't lose that fact and don't lose these two definitions. Okay? All right, let's get on with it. So, like I said again, we're going back to Dr. James Tour. Origin of Life Crisis, and he's at Harvard talking to some students that may have some questions for him. Let's see where this goes. I'll give you a radio check. 5 seconds. Here we go.
If Earth is about 4.5 billion years old.
Yeah, let's give it the universe. I'll give you 14 billion.
Radio check good?
Yep, all good.
Sounds good.
Out there in YouTube land. Flatsy, check that out there. Give us a thumbs up out there in YouTube land if you heard that.
Heard what?
Shut up. Wise cracker.
All good.
All good. Here we go.
Stephen first in.
Stephen, he's always the first one in. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah. There is a bit of a delay, like you said, Adam. There might be like a 20-second delay.
I watch the delay in real time because I have you guys on one screen on Discord and then YouTube on the other. And yeah, they hadn't even watched the clip while you were asking them, so they couldn't tell you.
Sure. Yeah, I know that. That's why I remain patient. Yes, but it's a little bit longer today, it seems. Okay. All right, here we go. Harvard University, Dr. James Tour.
If Earth is about 4.5 billion years old.
Yeah, let's give.
We're going to have to stop right there. 4.5 billion years? Can you scientifically validate that if statement? I'd like to see that. It'd be easier distilling Alexander the Great's tears out of the Euphrates than to show scientific evidence of the dating game, by the way.
Give it the universe. I'll give you 14 billion.
But Dr. James Tour will give you all the time you need.
Is 1 billion years not enough time for randomness?
What? Have you heard yourself? Is 1 billion years not time enough for randomness? Love, is that what you said? What the hell does that mean? Well, randomness, like I don't know. Random hairspray? What do you mean?
It fundamentally means is 1 billion years. Surely a billion's enough to make the impossible thing happen, just out of randomness. not. Yeah. That is the key point. Yeah. The cognitive dissonance kicking in, where they grab onto that. Well, let's just focus on the universe is so big, it's been around so long, not focus on the contradictory point that these things can't happen in chemistry.
Yep.
But the people that argue with me the least are organic chemists.
That makes sense. They're not going to have anything to say.
There you go. There you go. Yeah?
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
That's their field. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very well done.
Because they see exactly what I see. And even the guys that I challenge, that I call out their names on the internet, they run from me.
I'm just going to introduce.
Why have you had a go at this guy? I like him. He's a little bit Mr. Bean looking. But...
Listen. I said I had no qualms with his acumen in organic chemistry. The only qualms I had, you only heard a little bit. The only qualms I had is his reasoning ability and his discernment. and I'll let's see if you can pick it up.
Okay.
Professor Torr a little bit before his talk tonight. Professor James Torr is the TT and WF Chow Professor of Chemistry, Computer Science, and Material Science and Nanoengineering at Rice University in Houston, Texas. Professor Torr has over 800 research publications.
Good.
Is that his discernment that he's bothered to even have a title called Computer Science?
He might have picked that up along the way.
I'm just thinking, is that one of your beefs?
No. Nope.
Over 140 granted patents and over 1,000 pending patents, or 100 pending patents. His H index is 178 with total citations of 150,000. He is a member of the National Academy of Engineering.
Stop it.
And a fellow of the Royal Society of Chemistry. His research group works in materials science, energy, medicine, electronics, and single molecule nanomachines. He founded 14 companies based on his academic research, 3 of which are now public companies. In addition to this, he has an active social media presence at @RJamesTorr, spanning YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Facebook, and X. In 2024, on YouTube alone, there were 24 million views of his content for over 2 million viewed hours, which spans topics on science, faith, and the origins.
Hey, did you know?
Pause a second.
Do you know? Hold on. I'm coming up. I got a message. I'm coming up on a total of 1 million views.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There'll be a lot more.
Across your channel.
That must validate everything you say.
Hold on
then.
a second. Let Nathan. I wanted to get Nathan's take on that. Go ahead.
It's monumental. You mean across all of your videos, across your channel, on Quantum Eraser channel?
Yes.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
I was shocked when they sent me the message. I was like, what? But okay, I wanted to share that. Go ahead, Brian. Then
You get the little fireworks. You get the little fireworks. Let me just share this moment with my fellow YouTuber. I don't get to do this very often. So you got the little fireworks on the page then, didn't you?
Now, I got a message. Hold on. Where'd you go?
Maybe it's different. If you got an email. If you've signed up for notifications, you get it via email. Me, I just leave it with no notifications. So it means that when I sign into the studio page, little fireworks go off when notifications like that come my way because they're not coming to me via email. There'd be too many.
I got you. Yeah, I got it. They sent me an email. So hold on, Brian. Adam wanted to get in there. Go ahead, Adam.
That's it. You get an email, not a badge, not a plaque, not a biscuit, nothing.
No biscuit.
Even a good dog gets a biscuit.
Is that all you had?
I was excited for you, and then Nathan kind of burst my bubble.
Brian, save us.
Yeah, you call on Brian?
Yeah, Brian, he interrupted. I remembered him. Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you. Congratulations. You should have way, way, way more than that. Right? That should be quadrupled by 20 trillion billion. Anyway, the size of it. But that first girl asked the question, I was driving. She asked the question, is 1 billion euros not long enough for random? Was she a Harvard student?
Yes.
Don't send your kids to Harvard. Thank you.
You're welcome. Fix that mic.
Of life. For 10 years, Professor Torr has led weekly Bible studies in the living unit of maximum security prisons as well. He has been teaching a weekly Bible study to college students for the past 26 years, and he and his wife, Shireen, have served about 75 meals to students per week in their home for that entire time.
Say again, Adam?
So random.
That's pretty random. All right. He's a saint.
It's an impressive CV. I'll give you that. I can't put that I've built nano machines and also hosted a Bible class in a maximum security institute on a weekly basis.
You bet you can. Because you're a heathen.
Of course I can't. But I'm not
My
sure
kind of guy.
Neil might have met him. Neil, would you ever meet this guy when he comes on? Not the little Chinese kid.
I know who he is. He's my son's guy. My oldest son listens to this guy. I've heard him before. He is really good.
They also distribute dozens of weekly meals to local cancer patients residing in church facilities and elderly shut-ins in Houston. The title of today's talk is...
Stop mumbling, Adam!
That's too much. I also give meals to cancer patients on a week. There's too much smelling a rat.
You're smelling a rat? That's not. Yeah. This isn't the rat part, Adam.
He's a busy man building nanomachines, Bible study, and giving out food rations to cancer patients.
Yeah, but he don't do that. That's what they put together.
He does that.
He does that?
Yeah, that's his CV, man.
Yeah, I smell a rat.
No, you don't smell a rat. You're looking in the mirror and you're looking at a rat.
Feel like a rat if one man can achieve all that every week.
He does that every day.
A scientific challenge to the proposals on life's origin.
I fixed the cooker drawer this morning, and I was quite pleased.
Did you hear?
So was my wife.
See, you're all about, you're encompassed, you're just overwhelmed by your own Adam genders. You didn't hear this. Now listen.
I'm overwhelmed by the magnitude of this man.
I know, it makes you look kind of small. You better start getting your act together.
Feel small. Feel small.
So listen.
Today's talk is a scientific challenge to the proposals on life's origin.
A scientific challenge to the proposal on life origins is a train wreck of a belly-laughing dumpster fire. Like I told you, this has no natural science in it whatsoever. Law-based.
I was going to call it a very bold endeavor. Give me a J on that. I went, woo, that's impressive.
There we go.
Of weekly meals to local cancer patients residing in church facilities and elderly shut-ins in Houston. The title of today's talk is A Scientific Challenge to the Proposals on Life's Origin.
See that, Adam? Hear that?
Yeah, but actually, a scientific challenge. Now, it's a little bit conflated, but now that seems a bit more achievable.
By who?
A challenge. That's the whole purpose of this. What's being suggested, you can give demonstration that it... I know you're kind of arguing from a point of view, this can't be done, but you can demonstrate what has to be done, yeah, for this to happen. Yeah, that the only way is life.
You're missing it.
This.
You're missing it. It's not science.
That's why when I first heard it, I went, ugh. And then the second bit is, you could use science to challenge this.
You could.
That's where I mitigated for him.
No, that was his title. So he is the arbiter of that statement.
Give me the title again, because I've flip-flopped. I'm like Jaron.
You like Home Depot?
Only because it's like the Earth. I had lots of them.
The title of today's talk is A Scientific Challenge to the Proposals on Life's Origin.
So he's making a scientific challenge to the proposals of life's origins. Yeah, that's the problem.
Could the Bible be true?
That's the only one problem. Okay, now he's going to give you a false dichotomy.
The title of today's talk is A Scientific Challenge to the Proposals on Life's Origin. Could the Bible be true?
Could the Bible be true?
What the? What the strap-on is that?
I have no idea. That's what I'm saying.
Way to end a sentence.
Yeah. Did he just do that on his own, or did he read that? I'm thinking, let's go back. Did he read that?
Was it Flatsy?
A scientific challenge.
Should there be a comma after that?
There be a what?
Just before, is the Bible true? You know, should there be a comma after these? Give us a J.
Yeah.
What are you asking me?
Now listen closely. He's going to ask you if there should be a comma in this train wreck or not after his statement of what his talk is going to be. Oh shit! It's right here, Adam. He's done.
Period.
Yep. He put a period. Doesn't matter. Yep. He did. He proffered this.
That's his slide, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's an incomplete sentence. That's pretty troubling for a guy that's proposing anything scientific.
He's got a lot more problems than the grammar. We'll continue.
And elderly shut-ins in Houston. The title of today's talk is A Scientific Challenge to the Proposals on Life's Origin. Could the Bible be true? Could you join me in welcoming
It's non sequitur.
Professor Tor?
Thank you for having me here today. And
Notice Dr. James Tor, synthetic organic chemist. No problems with synthetic organic chemistry. I have no issues with it. Highly respect it. But it's not natural science. Everyone get that?
That's why he's put. Yeah. It's the differentiator there. Synthetic.
Yep. Yep.
I see some old friends that were students, and now they're grown up and doing what they need to do. Today I'm going to. It's sort of a.
Who's cleaning these chalkboards? I mean, it's unkept. But I digress.
Bifurcated talk.
Bifurcated? That's a $10,000 word.
In the sense that I'm going to start out talking about origins of life and the problems in the scientific proposals that have.
Whoa. No scientific proposals here, Dr. Tor. Not a single one. You claiming that there is scientific proposals is a problem. You getting me, Adam?
I was just about to say, is that going to be one of the points along with the title?
Yes, sir.
Have been put forth.
I want to mitigate for him.
I know you do. You're James Tor's lawyer.
I'm not gonna.
Yes, you are, counselor.
I'm bound to at some point, aren't I?
You're already dead for the first. I already stopped it 3 times. He's done. His science acumen's already compromised, right?
I mean, not everybody can meet your exacting standard. So
it's not my standard. That's some ball tart horse shit.
Okay.
Did I just hear correctly?
Not everybody can't not move on from these sorts of primitive faux pas that maybe one day in the future people will even pick themselves up on saying.
Yeah, see, Adam's he can relate to Dr. James Tor because he was in that position not so many years ago.
Yeah. Send him a wet fish.
Send him a fish pie.
Yeah, send him a fish pie. Too funny. Here we go.
The origins of life. And the bottom line of it is we just don't know. Scientific.
What? We just don't know. We don't know what? We know for absolute fact that the law of biogenesis holds. We do know that. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get the whole statement. Listen to what he says.
For the origins of life. And the bottom line of it is we just don't know. Scientifically, we have no idea how.
Objection, Your Honor. This isn't science. Counselor, you better request an 802 conference. Your client has rights.
No. Scientifically, we don't know. If I were to say it's not within the remit, then he's saying we don't know. He's not invoking it.
Yeah, he is. He said scientifically we don't know, Adam. He should have said is not within the remit. That's what he should have said. That's what he didn't say. Objection, Your Honor.
I know, but what I'm saying is without the wet fish, he's still on the right track. He's saying there isn't anything here that's science so far. I mean, he might go on to hang himself further, but at this point, wrong phrase, but right sentiment.
How life began, and that's what I hope to show you. And then we're going to talk about faith and the resurrection, and look at evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
If you do not believe in the physical resurrection of Jesus Christ, send me an email, tour@.
So a thumbs up for all this. Like I said, it's not that I dislike the gentleman. I like the cut of his jib. Remember my objections. He lacks reasoning ability and discernment. In this, now, I'm not saying in Christianity. That's not my point. In the topic that he's discussing, abiogenesis or abiogenesis. Okay?
drjamestour.org, and we will get together, and I will share with you about why I embrace the resurrection of Jesus.
So this is my.
I like him.
I know you like him.
I'll come round your house and kick your ass. I like him.
I know you do.
He's not. I like the way he's put a little break in here.
Yeah.
He's not so asked about proving abiogenesis, but you don't believe in the physical resurrection of Jesus? We'll get. It's like Neil. We'll get together.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it. Yeah, I like him.
My family wanted you to get to know me. This is my wife, Shireen. She's in the back. We've been married for 43 years.
She's in the back. Isn't that her right there? That's not the back. But I digress.
These are our children. Umbrina's our.
She's in the back, and he's in the back. She's not in the back.
Our oldest, she has worked for 10 years as a mediator between Palestinians and Israelis, and then she went back to get her PhD.
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, right, she's not done a very good job, has she?
That is so bad, Adam.
Can anybody?
Well, you tell me, what's her yearly work appraisal like?
Shut up, Adam.
What's your job?
You friggin'
Heathen.
You friggin'. What's the other one?
Deviant.
Deviant is what I was searching for.
All I'll say is, on the report, it says plenty of scope for improvement next year.
Shut up.
At the University of Michigan very soon. This is her husband, Philip. And then we have Sabrina. She's an attorney in Houston. Then Josiah, he's an urgent care physician on the Las Vegas Strip. And then Ben.
He's going to stay busy.
Ben actually just was in investment banking, and then he went to Harvard Business School and graduated about a year and a half ago from Harvard Business School, and now he's back doing private equity in New York City. And these are our two grandchildren, Umbrina and Philip's children. And I come from a Jewish home. I don't come from a Christian home. I was born into a Jewish home. I come from a secular Jewish home. I was born in New York City. And my friends tell me they can tell that I'm Jewish because in the family we've got a doctor, a lawyer, and a banker.
I forgot about that part. That's pretty good. All right.
So we should be all.
Is that racist?
Just kind of factual, isn't it?
Yeah, it is kind of factual.
This is sort of
He's got a lovely family, I'd like to say. God bless. What a blessed man.
Yeah.
What a lucky man.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Just a collage of different areas that we work on in my research group and have worked on. And I'll take you through this kind of briefly. There's this area of laser-induced graphene. You can hit any carbon surface with a CO2 laser, a 10-micron laser. They're found in every machine shop. They do laser cutting. You can do scribing with them. And they'll turn any carbon surface into graphene. It's become the most popular way now to make graphene. There's over 500 papers a year coming out in the literature where people now use this process. This has led to a company that's just starting up. One of my former students is taking that on. These are carbon nanotubes. You can split longitudinally, many uses of those. This is for memory. This turned out to be memory. It was based on silicon oxide, using silicon oxide as a two-terminal memory system. It's called resistive random access memory. That's now in a commercial company that we started a number of years ago. We work in the area of traumatic brain injury and stroke. This is in another company right now, moved into it. This is where we learned how to have carbon nanotubes grow seamlessly off of graphene. And as soon as we saw that those electrodes had 2,800 meters squared per gram, we knew that they'd be a great electrode, and those have become the preferred electrode for lithium batteries, not lithium ion, but lithium metal, rechargeable lithium metal batteries. And that's in a company called Zeta Energy, which is in Houston, I don't know, 50 or 75 employees now. This is graphene quantum dots. When we started this work, graphene quantum dots were $1 million per kilogram. We learned how to make these from coal. Coal is $60 a ton. And we made it in one step and 25% yield. So think about those economics. And so this is in a public company right now.
This guy is no joke. You getting that? So kudos. This is all pretty impressive.
That we had started. Here's where we take plastic waste, a problem, and we convert it into a material that absorbs CO2 to tackle another problem. This is where we have these little nano cars. These are little cars that are 2 nanometers by 3 nanometers. They have 4 independently rotating axles, and they have a little motor, so you can shine light on this motor, and it will spin unidirectionally.
Cool. Listen to this guy. I'd like to see the Etherites have a discussion with Dr. James Tour.
Look at those. That's electrostatics.
Oh boy.
For why it spins unidirectionally.
So is a Zwitter ion.
Oh, look at you. You got this Zwitter ion on the brain, dude.
I've not heard that. When you pulled that out, I've not heard that. I want to sound like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah. You're kind of partial to hermaphrodites, aren't you?
Push the car across the surface. The motor actually
That's why
spins.
you remember it, because you all laugh when you're at uni, don't you?
Yes, I do. That's how I remembered it. Yes. Yeah.
That's funny. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this episode that we're doing right now.
At 3 million rotations per second. And we've used those motors.
Wait, what? What did he just say? Let's pull it, Jay. How many rotations per second? What?
Reason for why it spins unidirectionally, and it can push the car across the surface. The motor actually spins at 3 million rotations per second.
3 million per second? Huh? Can you imagine that? That
has to be a calculation.
That can be calculated.
And we've used those motors where we can, instead of using it on a car, where we've put on a short peptide to recognize a particular cell surface, and those will drill through a membrane and into cells and kill them, so we kill cancer cells. This is killing a superbacterium. This is an area called flash graphene, where we can take any carbon material, we put a high voltage and high current across it. It breaks every bond in there, and all the carbon-carbon bonds then reconstruct as the thermodynamically most stable system, which is graphene. So you can take any carbon system. So we take coal and we turn it into graphene, and it's done in about 10 milliseconds. And that's now translated into a company called Universal Matter, and they have in their pilot plant now, they're doing over 1 ton per day of graphene that way. And then we've taken that, and in addition to industrializing it, we've used this flash joule heating to clean up many types of waste. These are printed circuit boards. We flash these. We get out the precious metals. We get out the rare earth elements out of them.
This guy's certifiable, dude.
I'm ready to invest right now.
I figured you were.
Every time you save something to the cloud, that is saved somewhere on a printed circuit board, somewhere in a server farm. Those printed circuit boards are replaced every 3 years, and so there's mountains of these waste. We recycle batteries this way. We redoing soil and
you're redoing soil, huh? All right.
Lots of different things that we do with these. So that kind of gives you an overview of our research.
It's a nasty picture up here. How would you like that? Oh, God. What? Well, I'm not going to be taking my fishing pole there.
Now let me turn to this area of abiogenesis.
Oh, now we're back to, okay, now we're into it. All right. What you got?
And again, this is not my definition. This is Webster's definition. Abiogenesis is the origin of life from non-living matter.
That's correct. Law-like. That's correct.
It's not, you see, though, is it? It's the construct of trying to make something happen from a word that couldn't possibly mean that. That was my first comment. Just sticking the word a, yeah?
Without life beginnings.
Astunya doesn't mean not, yeah? It doesn't necessarily mean anything. In this case, biogenesis means something.
It's just how they have to do it, Adam. To relax. And Astunya. Hey, listen. Shut up. Astunya is exactly my name. It's John A. That's what I wanted to stop you with. Go on, Adam. Go ahead, finish up.
No, that's it. Go on.
All right.
Construct any convincing theory of abiogenesis, we must take into...
Whoa. What? To construct any now we got convincing theories.
Yeah, you see? And so that was the point. Just because you stick an A in front of it, doesn't mean it's real. It sounds real. It sounds really intelligent. But it's an intelligent way of saying bullshit, contradictory paradox.
Yep. We had another problem with theory. We can get rid of the convincing theory. I don't know. Is this from Merriam-Webster? My God. The theory of that's not a theory. It's law. It comes from the law of biogenesis. There's no theories, no scientific theories. What?
No, abiogenesis. Theory of abiogenesis.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, you can't construct a theory. It's a misnomer. It kills itself. It snatches its own wing off right here.
You're going to need some experiments about that.
Yeah, and then look at the rest of it. We must take into account the condition of Earth about 4 billion years ago. What? Huh? What?
Yeah, it was before God had the patio done.
Yeah. How do you know? How do you know the conditions of the Earth 4 billion years ago when it didn't exist then? You know why? Because there were no knowers. You're in direct Merriam-Webster. I'm getting fucking... Shut up.
I'm chatting with you. Sorry.
I was on a roll right there. Why would you interrupt that?
Because I was just talking to you. Sorry.
This is a direct
special pleading.
There he goes. Yeah, it's not special pleading. It's a direct violation of quantum mechanics. This whole thing right here. Go ahead. Go with your special pleading.
To construct any convincing theory of abiogenesis, we must take into account a condition of Earth 4 billion years ago. That's special pleading. To prove this shit we've just made up, we've got to take into account something else we're going to make up.
Yes, that's true. You got it. Yeah. Yeah, you got it.
I'm not sorry.
No, you got it.
To account the conditions of the Earth about 4 billion years ago.
That's non sequitur. This whole definition's moronic, as we just illustrated.
Prebiotically relevant means that we're...
Stop. Prebiotic? What? Huh? You can't have that. This is in direct violation of quantum mechanics. The whole statement right here. So, prebiotically relevant, whatever it's non sequitur, means that we are restricted to materials, procedures, and conditions that might have been, what? Huh? Say again? Might have been available on an early Earth train wreck. This is begging the question, argument from ignorance fallacy, and you're in direct violation of quantum mechanics. This statement.
Two things. Prebiotically. What are we talking about? Are you Yakult yogurt, right? Or what I alluded to earlier in sci-fi, this primordial soup. That's what they're trying to invoke with posh words.
No, there is no soup. There's nothing. Zero. Without a knower, there's no matter.
How did he know that?
Neil, back off that microphone a little bit, QE. And a bit too enthusiastic about this.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
The point they're saying there is, look, prebiotic relevant means what type of soup, primordial soup, could have been made before the spaceship that travels back in time explodes above the surface. What's prebiotically relevant? Now, that statement then is kind of, well, what actually can happen in chemistry? It seems to be that question, isn't it?
Without chemicals.
Well, without creation.
There is no life here, Adam. Nothing existed. This is in direct violation of quantum mechanics, I'm telling you.
No, that's what I'm saying. Prebiotically relevant. So what means that we are restricted to materials, procedures, and conditions that might have been available on an early Earth. Now, if we just assume that the early Earth was the same as this, then all we've got is rock and water.
No, you don't.
Yeah?
No, you don't. You don't have rock.
Unless
no, you don't. You don't have rocks
get your
or
own
water.
rock.
Nope.
I know get your own rock, get your own water.
Get your own dirt. Shout out to Betty.
Exactly. I'm trying to work with what's on screen.
Objection, Your Honor.
All of those accolades, you don't know that? How does he not know that?
Yeah.
It just frustrates me.
Yeah. Objection, Your Honor. This is knuckle dragon bullshittery and in violation of known physics right here. Both these we didn't get to the third one just yet. Sustained. It's sustained. This is nonsensical. All the first two statements. I hope good.
I'm sorry. I'm interjecting again. I'm so sorry. It's just I'm very triggered, aren't I? You did this on purpose.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
All right. The first two. I don't think the third one's going to save them.
Restricted to materials, procedures, and conditions that might have been available on an early Earth. Now, nobody was present at life's origin, so
yeah,
there was someone present.
So not observed. Therefore,
So not God.
Just saying, not observed.
Nobody was present at life's origin. There was one present.
That's what I said. So no God?
In three.
Oh, at least one.
Yeah, there had to be one because you wouldn't have matter without that one. So this isn't saving him.
Word origin should give that away.
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll never really know how life originated.
Yes, we do. We know how life originated. You had to have, in order to have matter, Dr. James Torr, there must have been a knower. You must have information, sir. This is what I'm talking about, Adam.
This confliction, yeah, this is exactly what I just went, ooh, right? What is he doing? Is he just cooking to the audience?
Yes, I think he is, and it's bad. He does this all the time.
You shouldn't do that. If you say, I believe in God, the creator, then your language should reflect that. You shouldn't cook to the standards of the audience.
Yes, sir.
You shouldn't apologize for the way you describe the majesty of creation.
Yep.
You shouldn't, yeah?
Well, Adam, he is actually, if we base it off your last statement, he's doing exactly what he should be doing. He's used the word believe, and that's what someone who does believe would do.
Let's let him finish. Let's go ahead. Sorry.
but just wanted to clarify, just because of a linguistic or regional accent thing. Adam saying cuck, C-U-C-K, I believe the spelling is, as opposed to cook, C-O-O-K, in case anybody was mishearing what he's saying.
Did Adam call him a cuck?
You don't cuck who.
Oh.
Is what Adam said.
Oh, and it sounds like...
I misheard him. We turned into a culinary critique.
It sounded like we don't cook.
Doubt it. That sounds contextually very wrong.
All right, let's let him finish this statement.
We'll never know. But that's not what we're seeking to answer. What we're seeking is an experimentally verifiable hypothesis.
What? Objection, Your Honor.
He was doing so well. He was doing so well.
Wait a second. This is so you have the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, young doctor. Experimentally verifiable hypothesis? You mean we're going to experimentally verify that hypothesis? Am I misreading this, Adam? Or did Adam leave?
No. What we are seeking, well, that's how you validate it. What we are seeking is an experimentally verifiable hypothesis. So we test the hypothesis by taking it to experiment, and then you ruin it.
Yeah, there's a couple problems here. This is a little clumsily worded, and there is no hypothesis on how life originated when nobody was there. You can't have...
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. In principle, the statement in isolation's fine, right? Validate is what we talk about all day long. It's just for him, it's wrong. Contextually, for him, it's wrong, right?
Yes.
It's not even that it's that clumsy. It's actually not even that bad.
No, it's
when you have like exam questions, you have statements like that, and they'll say part A, part B. So part A is what we are seeking is an experimentally verifiable hypothesis. Part B, as to how life might have originated, you have to say whether part A and part B are true or false, true, false, and whether or not, even whether the true or false, it is a correct explanation or an attempt to explain the second part. This is non sequitur.
Yes.
And not recognizant of the claim that what you will be testing, and therefore have to then recognize that it's outside of the remit of science.
Yeah, it's a secondary point on top of your first point. Yes.
It's malformed. Malformed as a result.
It is malformed. Yes, correct. It's malformed and a train wreck. Objection, Your Honor. These definitions, he's guilty. He can't recover from this. Second.
Brian's trying to get in.
Go ahead, Brian.
I just didn't want to step on what Huey was saying.
You did. You stepped all over him like I'm stepping all over you.
Yeah, okay. Relax. The experimentally viable, he's looking for an experimentally viable hypothesis.
No, verify. No. Sorry, Brian. Get it right. It says experimentally verifiable hypothesis. That's a train wreck.
Sorry, verifiable. I got the word mixed up when Nathan decided to talk. Right? Thanks, Nathan. Right.
Sure.
The problem with that, shut up, you. The problem with that, right? The problem with that is that it's nonsense.
Yep.
All hypotheses, if it's a hypothesis, will be that. It can't not be. If it's not that, then it's not a hypothesis.
Then it wouldn't be an
it
wouldn't be an experiment. Yeah. See, Brian's on this. Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it. And number two, you would need someone to observe, as you said. I'm just jumping on what you said as well. You need someone to observe this for it to be a hypothesis.
Yep.
No one can observe the thing that they would need to be observed. So that's it.
I know who can. Doc Brown.
You mean exactly what I said earlier?
What?
Because I said, so then not observed.
Yes. Yeah, this is a counselor. Oh, counselor.
This is my point. The first part of the sentence, as it sits on its own without the rest, is valid in my opinion. It's the purpose of experiment is to verify a hypothesis. Yeah, that's it. So it's fine.
No, it doesn't.
The next bit. No. It's fine for me.
No, it doesn't. He has the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, Adam.
Okay, to the earlier bit. So what we are seeking is an experimentally well. I agree with Brian there. Then that's the purpose. If you can't construct the hypothesis to be viable by experiment, then you need to start your hypothesis again.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, I forgot. If I say anything, Brian said it 2 weeks prior. Right?
Shut up, Flatsy. Shut up, you.
I'm just throwing a wrench in with gears.
We got big problems right here, counselor. I don't think your client can recover.
Not with the second part of it. If he is a creationist, it's very odd that you would try and put those two things together.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
As alluded by Flatsy, who's watching that. Who observed that natural phenomena?
That's the next problem.
I did.
You did?
What's up, guys?
Cujo? Is that you?
Yep, that's me.
Oh, that's Cujo Chocolate. Yes?
What's up, man? Yep. What's going on?
All right, cool, man. Welcome. Here we go. Here we go.
As to how life might have originated. So there's a whole area of a study called Origin of Life, or abiogenesis. How did life begin? Such a fundamental question. I would argue that we're still clueless on it, though.
What? Oh, you would? You're still clueless on how life began, Professor? Counselor. Oh,
yeah. Many people would.
Oh, counselor.
Yeah, I mean, I've got chili quesadillas, so he can go burn in hell, as far as I'm concerned right now.
Oh goodness.
My God.
He's having himself. He's clueless as to how life began. Flat said, "Not my fault. Who said that?"
Wow.
I just heard your mouth full of food. That's all.
Yeah.
I said he just out of his own mouth said. He's clueless as to how life began.
Yep. You only have two choices there, Dr. James Tor. Either nature created life, you know, that abiogenesis, or God did. The creator, the knower. The basis of all physical reality is information, Dr. James Tor. You got two choices. You don't know? There's a rooster in the hen house.
Argue otherwise, and I'll show you why I think we're clueless on this.
You're going to say why we're clueless? Okay, then.
Well, what are the textbook characteristics of life? Again, not my definition. But this is the textbook definition: responsiveness to the environment, growth and change, ability to reproduce, have a metabolism and breathe, maintain homeostasis, being made of cells and passing traits onto offspring. That's the characteristics of life. It's not the definition of life. Life is much broader.
Correct. At least you got that right.
Those are the characteristics of life, and that you would find in any cell. Now, homeostasis is a steady internal physical and chemical condition. All right, now I'm not here to speak God of the gaps.
Why the hell would you bring this up? What does this have into relation? What
is this? I quite like this guy. I mean, for the most part, a lot of what he says I quite like. It's just sometimes you two, there's a lot of what you've been saying this evening that has gone straight over my head, I won't lie. I don't know what this is.
I would say this. I think that he has to speak a certain way to keep himself relevant in this conversation, the field, all of that. I'm sure that he's always. I'm sure that he's always having to like dot his I's, cross his T's in the correct fashion to stay relevant.
You know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling this is what I'm feeling. Don't you even try it. What I'm feeling is you have some co-counsel here, Adam. There's some apologist for Dr. James Tour on your side, is what I'm feeling.
I'm not
Yeah, I
feeling
don't know
that.
why you're letting him get
It's
off so
obvious.
easy.
I think he's building a case. Like I said, I critiqued him for cooking to the room and the vernacular he's using. But his introduction, I don't think was him fluffing his own bollocks when he's describing what he does.
No.
What he was describing was how you build nano machines and how complex it is. Now, if it was me at this point, where's my discussion going? There's no way you can build a 3 million revolutions per second motor that drives stuff straight forward on 4 wheels as a nano machine without a creator. Now, the machines I'm building are nothing, even compared to a single cell.
Yep.
That'll be the point I'd be making.
Yeah, he could have done. He had opportunity to do that, Adam, and he didn't do it.
Give him chance. He's there for 1 hour 28. He's only 10 minutes in.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how life began. What? He's only got two choices, Adam.
That's the cuckoldery. That's what I'm saying. That's what I object to. Don't apologise and pretend that your worldview is theirs.
Yes.
Speak to them honestly. Don't. Yeah? If there were a room full of Satanists, would you come in with a Baphomet t-shirt on? Yeah, would you?
Yes. There, exactly, Adam. And I hear a lot of terrorists sympathize in your co-counsel. I think you're going to have to sacrifice them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, Nathan, Flatsy.
That's how you do it. That's how you do
it. Get him, Nathan.
All right, let's let him go.
I've never spoken God of the gaps. God of the gaps meaning that if we don't have an explanation for something, I therefore...
Explanations are worthless, Doctor. Explanations on their own without demonstration or scientific validation are worthless. Who cares about people's... I can give you... We have a village idiot down on the corner can give you an explanation on just about anything. Okay, Doctor? Stop it with these damn explanations, all right? You tracking with me? They're going to piss me off here.
Say, therefore, it must be God. Now, as a scientist, I cannot do...
You are not a scientist, sir. You are a synthetic organic chemist. That is not a scientist. Sorry.
Do that because I don't know what the world will have for us in 500 years from now.
That's an appeal to the future fallacy, Doctor. An argument from ignorance appeal to the future fallacy. Why would you do that? Counselor.
I'll tell you why.
Counselor and co-counselors. That's what I thought.
I'm going to tell you why, but I don't want to interrupt.
Go ahead. No, I said counselors and co-counsel. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. It's because he is not up to date on the flat earth debate.
Oh, now you're providing apologetics? You better request an 802 conference because he's about to go down in flames if he hasn't already.
Can I make a prediction?
Chance.
Super Brian prediction.
Oh, buddy. Flat out fudge. And if he believes that, what would be making them drift? Just ponder on that for a moment. Could it be effects we pint out that should be they deny? I don't know. That was a little bit hard to read.
All right, thanks for the super chat, though. I couldn't get the gist of your question or your comment. Did somebody else have any comment before we go forward? Counsel and co-counsel?
I had a prediction.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
As a word I heard Adam use. Sorry, you're saying something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. As a word I heard Adam use earlier on when he referred to Dr. James Tour. He said the word believe. Now, is it possible that Dr. James Tour is a believer in the Creator? Because if he is, then he's on very shaky ground. Because you don't know or you don't. Belief means nothing in that situation. So that's where his problem lies. Thank you.
Did you guys stop talking when I went and gave my order for my smoothie?
Talk to you.
No, we've been talking. We were all good. You could have said nothing and nobody would have noticed.
All right.
With all those accolades in the beginning, this guy's got no excuse.
That's for the jury to make the decision.
One day it wasn't usually succinct from Brian.
Understand scientifically.
Why are you guys interrupting my stuff, man?
Adam said something to me, I thought.
Adam?
I said, to be fair to you, QE, Brian was unusually succinct. He normally would have had more than enough time to put a kitchen order in.
Yeah.
But he did. Bish boss, done.
I know, he was bish boss done. That's unlike him.
He even said thank you after he was finished.
Yeah.
As a scientist, I cannot do that because I don't know what the world will have for us in 500 years from now. I actually presume one day we will understand scientifically the origin of life. How
That's game, set, match. Counsel, co-counsel. Let's pull a J on that mug. Really?
Before you press play, we did have this discussion. I was lucky enough to be privileged to be part of the conversation, not that I put much input into it, when we discussed doing just that, not scientifically validating it, that's absurd, but, rewinding entropy to figure out the cause of the second law of thermodynamics was the actual discussion topic on the table while that discussion took place. It leads me to be able to so concisely say what I just said. So thank you, the people around me, smarter than I, for having that conversation while I was around.
Well, that means that you're very smart to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you.
Well, I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know. He's part of the terrorist sympathizing co-counsel that's going to get his ass ripped up when I play this J.
Oh my goodness.
That you are too.
I know.
Here we go. Listen closely.
Because I don't know what the world will have for us in 500 years from
this part.
Now, I actually presume one day we will understand scientifically the origin of life.
Counsel?
Game over. I have no response. You may rest your case.
Prosecution rests, counsel.
Could I throw in something?
No, hold on a second, Brian. We got lead counsel all of a sudden quiet as a church mouse.
Look, by a very unfortuitous event, the lead counsel has somehow thrown himself down the steps during the last recession and he's going to have to no longer be able to defend his client. One of those...
Yeah, I'm not going to defend that.
This is obscene neglect. Like I say, cuckoldery.
Yep.
Okay? Have a pair, mate, and stand by the courage of your convictions. You know there's a crane. You can say, this is a guy that seems to be avoiding just simple... The simple opposite position. And like I say, it's the vernacular he's using. It's like it's his position. And he's compromising himself by making statements that he, and then unfortunately at the end there, that's just that's a statement of ignorance, and it's not an appeal to the fallacy, to appeal to the future fallacy.
No, not that one.
It's just downright completely incorrect, and doesn't matter how much time I give you, even 1 billion years. Yeah,
this is why it's a problem.
Not going to be within the remit of science. Off you go, Flatsy.
Yeah, this is the problem. He's trying to defend creation, right, by God, and he promotes Jesus. That's great, but he invalidates his argument, which isn't defending. It's actually making him look worse.
Yep. There will never, Dr. James Tor, there will never, ever, ever, ever be in your appeal to the future fallacy any science dealing with the origin of life, sir. You would fail intro to 3rd grade general science. It's all over. You're done.
I was going to say, wouldn't you have to be around to witness that?
Yeah.
Make it scientific.
Yeah. At the minimum, there would have to be a hypothesis. At least one. This, like I told you from the beginning, this is not natural science. The law of biogenesis, that's the natural law. There's no science there. It's like the second law of thermodynamics. No science there, sir. There is no science in this at all. So I didn't mark all these down, but he's finished. We'll continue, but he's done. Co-counsel have got lead counsel. Has the co-counsel relieved themselves?
Me? I'm not relieving anything.
You're not relieving anything? Really? So you can get a hypothesis from the deep, dark past ages? Co-counsel.
Yeah, you said you conceded this earlier, counsel. Doc Brown.
Doc Brown, duh. Fair enough. All right.
How life might have originated.
Might? Oh, my God.
I presume we will, but I'm saying that we are very far away from that now.
That went too quickly. Stop. That might come follow him suggesting scientific empiricism. Was that straight after that last sentence? Don't rewind it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Do you want me to go back? We're going to get to Jay. Because,
just appreciate the irony. What he's saying in the first breath of that sentence is, hopefully I'll get scientific empiricism for a kind of explanation, for a kind of vaguety. You're like, oh my God, get a grip, man.
Let's get the whole statement. I'm going to go back. Jay and a nickel, and let him go.
Have for us in 500 years from now. I
got to go another Jay, and then I'll let him go. There we go.
Or say, therefore, it must be God. Now, as a scientist, I cannot do that because I don't know what the world will have for us in 500 years from now. I actually presume one day we will understand scientifically the origin of life, how life might have originated.
Let me go. You're saying, I hope we'll get empirical. Not on it now, because Adam interrupted. You go ahead, Adam.
I was more objective.
We might get empiricism for how it might have been. There we go. I did get there in the end.
No, you didn't. No one heard you.
He's getting, suggesting, I hope we get empiricism, that's scientific evidence, how it might speculatively have been. So empiricism and speculation in the same sentence, with one being the affirmation of the other.
Yep.
It's a complete cluster screw.
Yep. Go ahead, Adam. Were you going to say the same thing?
No, my point of objection was more prior to that. Is this appeal to the future? Yeah. Well, no, it's either God or not God.
Yep.
Right. 500 years time, your answer should still be as firm in 500 years time, because you can demonstrate that there has to have been a creator. Something I think he's going to go on and show, like I say. So this strange way of wording things, where he's allowing a proposition. in 500 years' time, what, you were talking shit from your worldview right now? Is that what you're saying? I'm open to that opinion, that my logic is bullshit, yeah?
This is a disaster. This is, like I told you, that's why I had problems with him many, many years ago, is because his reasoning ability is compromised. It shouldn't be, though. Follow?
No, that's what I mean. Courage of your conviction, but he's got none. Yeah, I'm sure he will be making really good points and proofs for a creator. Yeah, he talks like an evolutionist that doesn't believe in a creator. That's which weird the way he's presenting himself.
Yep.
It's
Maybe he's trying to walk that thin line, right? Maybe he's just, because he's a mainstream scientist, I guess we can call him.
No, he's not a scientist. He's mainstream. Are you gonna start apologizing for him? Are you gonna take over the reins of the co-counsel that's been dismissed?
They've been dismissed already.
Oh, they've been dismissed.
Council started out like you, but suddenly after where are we in 10 minutes? I felt the need to throw myself down the steps and take a need for a break from work for a bit.
Chocolate. I don't know. I kind of feel for the dude. I kind of feel for the dude, man.
All right, fair enough. Go ahead, Brian. Lead counsel's already thrown himself down the courthouse steps.
Flatsy wanted to say something before to me, so I'll go after Flatsy if she's available.
Yes, I was saying it's hard to come to the harsh reality that people, even in the position that he's in, and others that proclaim to be intellectual, are more than likely not.
What I heard in his last statement there was equivalent to one of these astrophysicists that are hired to come onto the Discovery Channel and say things like, I believe that we might sometime in the future prove that alien life or aliens may have landed upon Earth at some time in the past. That's what I heard there. The biggest vague heap of nothing. Right? It's like he won't take a position. It's like, you'll have to explain that one to God, because you're not the normal guy. You're not someone who's the average guy on the street who has no information biologically. Just say, thank you.
I cannot do that because I don't know what the world.
I already did.
Or
after you press play.
Or after.
It's
on the screen, and it's been popping in my head, and it's the thing he started with his apologetics with, but it's the fundamental premise of the problem, the miscategorization, whether it's science or not. I don't act like God of the gaps, i.e., say God did this and just fill in the blanks. Now there is what's in natural science, like why a chaffinch might change colour, perhaps, that you just go, well, God just did it, right? Recognizing God and recognizing, you just fill it in. There might be a reason, but what we're talking about here is kind of whether there's a God, a creator, or not a creator. At no point are you just filling in the gap. It is the ontological primitive question that you have to resolve here. It's not a point for, I don't do this. It's a point where you have to take one stance or another.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is very strange behavior. And it's a train wreck on a reasoning level.
will have for us in 500 years from now. I actually presume one day we will understand scientifically the origin of life, how life might have originated. I presume we will, but I'm saying that we are very far away from that now. That's not going to happen in the next...
Yeah, it's train wreck, man.
Yeah, but because you've made the statement that you presume in 500 years or a billion years, doesn't matter, that you'll be able to discover that, it tells you that you don't believe in a creator, or you don't understand what science is and what you think you can discover. Because ultimately, if you thought you were a creator, you think in 500 years, I can discover how God did everything.
Yep.
Huh?
Yep. You know what? You know what? No. I just hired lead counsel to the prosecution.
And my legs are better. They're healed.
We're a very long way away from empirically validating how it might speculatively have been. Perfectly reasonable.
Welcome aboard, co-counsel.
Yeah. I just want to take the new lead defense's point. Yeah, exactly. And in making that statement appeal to possibility of something different in the future, and fundamentally it means he doesn't hold the position of creationism.
Correct.
Yeah, he has to mitigate to the future that he could find this out means
Correct.
that he holds the position that there's a possibility it wasn't a creator.
Correct. Yeah, that's simple to get. Yeah, he's done. It's over.
Or two. There's no way. And I'll show you by the end of this talk as to why I can say that.
Oh, really? I can't wait for that.
If you asked a man or a woman in the year 1700, would we ever put people on the moon and then...
Oh, boy.
No.
Now, how does Adam, Nathan, and Flatsy feel?
No, Adam has been No, Adam is part of the prosecution. He's co-counsel over here. It's Flatsy and Nathan that are out there. You go to Flatsy and Nathan.
No.
And chocolate.
And
chocolate, that's right.
Chocolate as well, yeah. They're all compromised, all of you.
Yeah, let's hear that again. What you say about moon landings? Is that what you said?
Show you by the end of this talk as to why I can say that. If you asked a man or a woman in the year 1700, would we ever put people on the moon and then bring them back? They'd be like, what are you talking about? We can't even fly.
So because of that, and no one's ever landed on the moon, there, Dr. James Tour, that violates the second law of thermodynamics, by the way. So your analogy is because those people back then thought that, we couldn't land on the moon. We'd never, what the hell are you talking about? And we did now. That provides some type of validation for your train wreck scientific abiogenesis? Really?
Yeah, false
You can't even validate. Sorry.
I'm sorry, are you sniffing glue, Dr. James Tour? Do you think that greased the skids to confirm your train wreck of a dumpster fire before that? This is weak sauce from a man of your stature, sir. It's almost belly-laughing pathetic.
Yeah. It again doesn't deal with the underlying principle, creator or not. He's saying, it's the worst analogy you could use in a room full of flat earthers going to the moon. Unfortunate, son. But if he had have picked something appropriate, it still negates the point. He's saying in the future you might have better understanding. Now the ontological issue here is what? Better understanding of the creator. You muppet.
You muppet. You got it. Damn glad I hired Adam. What you got to say, Chocolate? You've been quiet for the past couple minutes. We'll get to Nathan momentarily. Yoo-hoo, Chocolate! That's what I thought.
He's obviously not there. I still don't know what this means.
Don't know what means?
The gaps.
You don't know what God of the gaps means?
No. Does anybody else know what they mean?
Hey, let's stop working. You got to give me a minute.
Okay. What he's trying to portray, and not doing a very good job, that he's saying that really he's playing on the audience being frigging hermaphrodites and just heretics. He's taking on their position and saying that, well, they're going to say God of the gaps. God of the gaps is more or less anything of the gaps is if you don't know what the mechanism is for something, then those people say, well, why don't you just put God in there? If you can't explain something, back to the explanation thing, then he's indicting himself in their eyes by saying, no, I don't do that. I don't say I can't explain something, I don't put God in there. Did I explain that okay?
Exactly.
I followed along just about. Yes, that's much better. I feel it. I feel you have elucidated that moderately well.
Okay.
Now, do you get why it's got nothing to do with the argument on the table?
Yes.
Yep. I might promote my new co-counsel.
Alone have space flight. I mean, that would never happen. So things happen in intervening 300 or 400 years.
Because things happen in the future, then your train wreck of a disaster has potential to happen in the future. That's your argument? Oh, boy.
Things happen.
That's amazing.
And that we can't easily foresee. So I don't presume, therefore, God. I'm just saying
You don't presume, therefore, God. What? Huh?
Imagine if things don't happen.
Good point.
We don't know how life originated.
You don't know how life originated. I'm sorry, sir.
Scientifically.
Scientifically, that's more chocolate.
Doesn't know empirically, but they might find it out in the very far away future, speculatively.
From a summary point of view, though, we can't find that out scientifically whether or not.
Super abiogenesis scientifically.
Sorry, Pablo sent a super chat. There you go.
Well, thank you, Pablo. Appreciate it.
Before we go on, Patsy, could you just tell Booger that it's great to have him back?
Yeah, it is good to have him back. Patsy.
I told him.
Now, molecules are the language of living systems.
Oh, okay. Now we're going to get into some.
Hold up. Well, that's the argument done then, isn't it?
Yep.
Molecules are the what?
The language.
What's language?
Comes from an intelligent
information.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh my.
Yeah. So in 500 years, will that mean that there isn't a creator of this language that you speak of?
Possible.
That molecules speak in?
It's possible. Let's see how he train wrecks himself here. This is within his own paradigm, so let me add it.
Scientifically. Now, molecules are the language of living systems. You have small molecules that make up, for example, sugars.
That's incorrect. That might be the medium that the language is used to convey, but that's not the information. The medium's not the language. Does everyone get that? This is very important. The medium, that is the molecules or the paper and the ink, is not the language. The meaning of the message will not be found in the physics and chemistry of the paper and the ink.
Huh? Or if you're Helen Keller, dots on the page. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. So he just train wrecked himself again within his expertise. Do we still have, for the defense, is there any defense left?
No.
No, I think we're done. I think we actually rounded out about 5 minutes ago. Not rest your case about 5 minutes ago.
I did.
Come on, you could definitely rustle something up.
This guy is apparently.
Oh, hold on, Adam. You could finish that off. Go ahead, Brian. What did you say?
I'm just saying they've been doing it all night.
Yes.
If you need another defense attorney, I'll just work pro bono.
Yeah, you just lost your pro bono status. They're going to take money from you now.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to my world.
Yeah. Adam, you want to finish this off?
Two things. This guy's supposed to be on our side, by the way, hence why I started. And Chocolate, find yourself a set of freshly mopped marble steps and get yourself down them quick.
Mm-hmm. There's a very subtle point, but I thought was a very important point that he just made a major mistake with. And that was the language part. Remember, the meaning of the message will never, ever be found, ever, 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 in the physics and chemistry of the paper and the ink. It's a belly-laughing non sequitur. Sorry about that, Professor. I like you, but this is getting bad.
Language of living systems. You have small molecules that make up, for example, sugars make up carbohydrates, amino acids make up our peptides, most of our enzymes being based on these amino acids, the nucleotides which make up DNA and RNA, and then we have glycerol probably being the basis for lipids. So we have these four classes of compounds. So everywhere there's a little red arrow, that is a stereogenic center, or what some people call chiral center.
Okay.
And you have to be able to control that. Now, if you would...
Whoa. Who's going to have to be able to control that? Nature?
Oh, in synthetic organic chemistry, you are. That's part of the job of the discipline of synthetic organic chemistry.
Yes.
But that's got nothing to do with you trying to manipulate something that obeys a set of preordained rules.
Yep. Is he going to train? He's going to train wreck himself again.
I would argue that there are mixtures, and you can deal with mixtures. We'll address that in a minute. But it makes it hard to control that. Here, these are not stereogenic centers, but they're enantiotopic centers, meaning that somehow you've got to distinguish these. And then you have...
Who's got to distinguish them?
The polymeric classes from these, and all of these bear information.
Oh, they do. Where is it?
Hung himself by the yard arm there. Sorry. The way molecules arrange themselves bear information. To who, to how, to what, who made that arrangement of those molecules means something other than those molecules being arranged like that.
Will it be 500 years before he realizes that the answer was already there?
Yeah, the answer was already there, and his last statement was a train wreck. It's really bad, dude. I kind of feel like stopping. I'm not going to, but I do. Do you understand me?
Yeah, from an academic point of view, because he's so good at what he does do.
Yep.
It's tough for you, after being in that arena, to have to say these things concerning him.
Yep.
Because he's embarrassing himself. I shouldn't know. I shouldn't be more correct than him on this topic. Should I?
Nope.
I have no education in it, outside of learning from yourself.
I've never watched this bloke before. I did a cursory grok who is this bloke with regards to I outlined it, and he pointed out this thing, and he's supposed to be on my side. And every word, like I said, I've started out on one side, mitigating for him, yeah, and to the point that then I'm saying he's just cooking to the room. Now to the point of now you're not telling the truth, pal. Yeah, hence the ridicule. Yeah, hence I critique molecules are the language of living systems. No, that's not what he said, and that's not the truth. And you're alluding to it in yourself and embarrassing yourself. And you must know better. You do know better. You're better educated and more knowledgeable in these topics than I. Yeah? But you're missing the fundamental. That's why I cut it, to save his embarrassment. Yeah? There's so much good on screen, and then there's so much misrepresentation. It's a bit like a baller, isn't it? Trying to explain how gravity contains gas pressure.
Yep.
There's bits of truth in there, but fundamentally, you're misrepresenting things for a different belief that you can't support.
Yes.
Hence why it might be possible in 500 years.
Yeah, isn't that strange? That's very strange why somebody... That's what I felt, those many years ago. I had that same feeling, and I said, James Thornton, no. No, what I think of James Thornton, he's a train wreck. So I just left it there, and I never went back to it. And then I heard his name a few times over the past 3 months or so, and then I got a recommended thing in there. I don't want to continue. However, it's raining outside, and we're going to continue.
But before you do, we actually missed the trick. Maybe because of who it was that we didn't maybe jump on it. But when he said some time back that we will know more in 500 years, that means to know means you will have an understanding that you can trust, a greater understanding that you can trust of the information. Wouldn't it mean that? That would have to be what it means. It means the information is more understood. So that, you know what I mean? It's like for him to say we will know more. Even though the use of that one word, he's already, as Adam was saying, I don't see even the point of him continuing on if he understood what he meant by that. There's no point of even continuing on this track on that stage. It's time for him to do a complete 180.
I don't think he can recover.
If I took Morris and the Miners and Hungry Horace and just took all the basic programming and looked at the games and looked at the programming, and then in 500 years I was able to make my own Spectrum game, based on my understanding of the program, almost like a synthetic organic chemist, it still wouldn't mean that 500 years ago I missed the point, in recognizing whether or not me understanding how to program ZX Spectrum games means whether or not there was a creator and somebody who set the language up for me to program in the first place.
Yep.
So can I speak to something that Adam...
That is...
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Cesar.
Okay. And hopefully my connection will stay decent. But, Adam keeps talking about he's supposed to be on our side. So since Brian has failed to take up the mantle of the conspiratard here, I will... This man started out, like the whole spiel started with, these are all the things that I've done. I make nano Lamborghinis out of coal. I go to prisons and teach the gospel. This is my, background, blah, blah, blah. And then he begins to talk about essentially science when he doesn't really know what it is. And he considers himself to be a scientist, even though he is not. He's a pseudoscientist at best, or whatever. using synthetics. Okay. So when people start to do this, it tells me that they sound like gatekeepers to me. And maybe it's not intentional, but to go to Harvard and to give all of this nonsense to these people, convoluted misinformation, to me is dangerous. I don't like these people. I don't care if you say you're a Christian. If you mislead people or if you don't know what you're talking about, why are you talking about it?
Damn, why don't you just tell us how you really feel?
Oh, I had Pastor Will Duffy pop in my head at the end of that statement. So, yeah, well said.
It was well said. It's a reasoned, well articulated point. Says who? You're right. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're right on point. We'll continue though.
Is now a code. That is a string. So you have a letter.
It's not a code and it's not a string.
But now you've made that into words, and that bears.
There's no words here.
There's now information.
Where's the information at?
G-A-T-A-T-T-G-A-T-C-D.
That's not information. Go ahead.
Dot, dash, dash, dash. Dash, dot.
Yeah.
See, the trouble with all these things, be they be amino acids, Morse code, French even, unless the other person understands, and I don't understand French, je m'appelle all you like, mate. Make all the signs you want. It doesn't mean anything, because I don't understand the code, the pre-agreed information.
Listen to Adam, man. He's a bad man now. Yeah, look out.
He's making up for his earlier infringements.
Yeah, he did. He's trying to real bad. Although I haven't forget before he fell down the courthouse steps.
Also bear information, but not so.
Say again.
I say he's putting a lot more effort in than Nathan Flatsy and chocolate. Put it that way.
Yeah, we've got not a great deal to come back at this with. Brian, what do you want?
Yeah.
So much in this.
I don't know.
Brian's thinking about what he wants.
Single lipid as in the array of lipids. And what we're finding now when you have a lipid bilayer in a cell, those are constantly changing and migrating in the layout of those, and they're constantly changing based on what the cell is going through, and you get swarms of different.
Well, that's all well and good with lipid bilayers and stuff, but that's not the game. It's the integral proteins that are in the cell membrane, sir. That's the game. The friggin' lipids, yeah, I got you, but I mean the telltale what makes the cell function and survive are those integral membrane proteins. There's a bunch of them. I can't remember all of them. It's been too long.
What makes a cell swell its lipids and then make them swarm? Why would it? Why is it doing that? What's telling the cell to make it do that based on a biofeedback mechanism? What pre-agreement has occurred for it to make it swarm?
Listen, guy created a monster, boy. I love it too.
Lipid types moving around dynamically. But molecules don't care about life.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's the kind of a well-duh. They don't care about anything. It's nonsensical.
I heard an indictment on that.
Did you?
I've heard. Yeah, because I've heard that molecules also don't care about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
which I think is very
too.
bad on their point.
Yep. I don't think they're racist either.
That's what the point being. What a statement of nonsense from a man of intellect.
Yep.
Never will. Organisms care about life. Molecules don't care at all about life.
Do you know, QE, right? Chocolate eggs don't care about Easter.
Can you prove that?
No, well, not today, but in 500 years, I might be able to.
Empirically?
Well, yeah, through science.
They've never been known to move toward life unless an organism, like a person,
where's life?
I don't know.
See, statement of bullshittery.
Yep.
Move toward molecules have never been known to move towards life. Where's life? It's over that way. But they all go that way, don't they?
I don't know. That's
what?
Yeah.
Sir. Snake oil.
I don't know. It was clumsy the way it was stated. I think he meant something else, but the way it was stated, it was a catastrophe.
Pushing them in a certain direction. Molecules themselves have no brain. They have no desire to move toward life. In fact,
he did it again.
Don't care to do that at all. Well, what's the state of origin of life research?
It's about the state of invisible three-toed gnomes.
I thought it was next to Oregon.
Well, let me show you the state of...
Just put a blank page up, and that would be the... Take out these letters right here. That would be the state. It's been that state from the beginning, and it's been that state up until Leslie Orgel passed away. And I'll tell you what, if you could put pigs flying on here, that would be the state.
That research. Nobody has shown a method to make the enantiomer versions of carbohydrates.
Whoa. Method to make? See, he's lost the plot. No, sir. This is the law of biogenesis and abiogenesis. Nothing to do with any man-made stuff. None. Zero. That's against the point. He's not getting this. Let me see.
No. Read the heading. He's agreeing. See, this is the point. He's agreeing with us. He just doesn't sound like he is.
There you go. Check this out. Make sure you're looking on the YouTube stream. See if this rings true with what this jabbering guy is trying to intimate, but he's lost the plot.
Yeah. See, do you see the wanker word at the end? So read the title. Nobody has shown a method to make the enantiomer versions of carbohydrates, amino acids, and nucleotides, or lipids, in a prebiotically relevant manner. Do you see? That's why I saw it earlier and thought, well, what's that? Because that's just wokery, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a transgender way, in a completely imaginary way, in a non-binary synthetic manner, yeah. We're talking, right, to use the vernacular of the book. We're now in Narnia.
Yep. Yeah, this is just nonsense. Did you read it?
He actually prefaced it himself, what this prebiotically relevant manner is. It's the place you can imagine how Earth was 4 billion years ago. Yeah. That's how we started this shit.
Yeah, look on YouTube. Do you see where I'm going with this? Number one. He's lost the plot. Look at this. Nobody has shown a method to make. No, sir. No. He's dead right there. No matter the crazy train wreck ending of it. No, you've lost the plot. It's nature that must do this. Not nobody has shown a method to make. No. That's against, they're done then. The moment you introduce man, it's over.
Amino
acids. It's over.
It's worse than that, though, Kiwi.
It's not worse than that.
Well, let me have a try. Give me a chance. If it's, you can obviously abuse me verbally. You if I'm wrong. It says nobody has shown a method to make. To make would mean that you'd have to use matter and energy.
True.
Would it not? Right?
Yes. Yep.
But that's that. Like, the whole point is what and who made those.
Yeah, that's true.
Get
You're
your
right.
own God.
You're correct about that. We already dealt with that point. You are correct. Yes. Yes, but even giving him that, he's lost the point of abiogenesis. He's lost the point as soon as he said a method to make. You mean nature's method to make? Doctor. No, he doesn't mean that because he said nobody. So that means somebody, as in human. So this is preposterous, sir. I told you, he's lost the plot. This is true, but he's lost the plot.
Yeah, he seems to misunderstand from what that statement there on the page is saying, that even if man learns how to replicate, because that's all it would be, that doesn't mean that you've proven that there is no creator.
Yeah, that proves it does, because it proves intelligent agency was required.
Well, yeah, actually, you're right. Actually, 100%, because it means it required intelligent agency to do any of this.
Yeah,
exactly. You're right. 100%. I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
Brian, if
well,
I spent,
right, but I wasn't right enough. Go on, I'm sorry.
If I spent years studying ZX Spectrum games and learnt from scratch by only studying ZX Spectrum games how to write a ZX Spectrum game, it wouldn't disprove that there was a creator of the ZX Spectrum, would it?
Yes, correct.
No, exactly.
Got it. Yes, sir.
And I know what I want now. I want Nathan to partake a bit more, as he was doing a lot of talking before he was shown to be a bonehead.
That's true.
That's a low blow right there, but I liked it.
Nucleotides or lipids in a prebiotically relevant manner. Nobody's ever done that. Nobody's been able to do that. So this whole idea of having chiral compounds, how do you do that? Nobody's ever shown how you could get this prebiotically, how you can control all of these stereocenters. Some people will say, well, you make all the different enantiomers of these things. And then somehow nature selected these out. Well, then
whoa. But now, are you defending this, or are you putting this up to be burned? Nature's not selecting anything. Nature has no sentience or intelligence. To select something invokes choice constraints. Nature doesn't make choices, sir.
You have to say, how did it select it out? How did nature select it out?
No, nature doesn't select, sir.
What was the chiral molecule that nature used to select it out? Because the only way you select these out, a particular chiral molecule, is you have to have other chiral molecules acting upon them. So nobody's ever got these, so we don't have the starting materials. You say, well, these...
Whoa. Who designed molecules to make them have the capability to be chiral?
Get your own dirt.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah?
Yep.
This is weak.
Yep.
These come in on meteorites. They don't come in.
These come in on
that can.
Meteorites.
Aiming on the meteorites. Hold on. I need to get this out. And who put it on the meteorites?
The unicorns.
We can kick this can forever.
Yep.
They'll always come in mixtures. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of enantiomeric excess, but it's only slight. In the highest cases, you've seen about 60% enantiomeric excess, but that was never in a prebiotically relevant system anyway. Nobody's ever shown that life could form with lower enantiomeric excess mixtures, meaning this handedness. Nobody's ever shown that you could have had life starting on racemic mixtures. And there's a reason for that. There's a new phenomenon that's only been around for about 25 years. It wasn't around when I was your age in school. And that's called chiral-induced spin selectivity.
This is pretty cool right here.
This is so cool. He's on our side. Can you hear it?
Yes.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
You can't get life in racemic mixtures.
Correct. He is correct. And I like this, the chiral-induced spin selectivity. This is really cool. So let's let him go.
And what we know now is we have a much better idea why nature does things as
nature's not doing things
cleanly as it does. How come nature can do chemistry much better generally than we do?
Nature does chemistry better than you?
Does he mean, right, does he mean life here?
Yeah. He's in fact, he's given it, I don't know how to take this because it's so inane and so stupid. You're saying...
This goes back to the point of him being a cook and the language he's using. So to say it boldly is to him and say, you don't get L-thyroxine, life makes this. Nature, it'll give you a racemic mixture if you can get it any way through chemical process. But life makes these things, and it has a function, this racemic enantiomer. Yeah, this is... Say it boldly and proudly. It's not coming. I don't know if any people who maybe don't fully understand the real good stuff he's saying. Does he sound like he's a procreationist?
No. No. Is he? Yeah, but Adam, is he taking the piss out of his audience with this? I don't know how he's portraying himself with that. Is that what he's doing?
Is he getting to swallow it all first in such an apologetic manner that they just take it in without realizing they've just been made to accept a load of truths that they're then going to get kicked in the nuts with? Maybe. I don't know.
Procreation, you say?
What?
Procreation, you say? Procreation? Procreation?
Procreation. The word yeah, that he's a creationist.
Never mind.
All right.
In the lab, and we were taught, as many of you have been taught, that it's like a hand and a glove. An enzyme has a certain shape, molecules fit into that certain shape. That's only half of the story. The other half of the story is that molecules and fragments of molecules and entities will have unpaired electrons, and the electrons can be either spin up or spin down. And because of that, they're selected which dynamic way they're going to go through a material.
What's selected? Who selected it? Is the point.
Why would it matter and have an effect? Yeah, which way it was. Who decided that which way it was would mean something?
Yep. Yep. This isn't, or is he seeing, are you seeing this outside of a living cell, doctor? I don't think so. Let's let him go.
And so when you have, for example, a helix, those will select out a particular spin. So say only spin up will go through that helix, not the spin down, because the difference is when the wrong spin goes through that, you get a lot of backscattering and heat release. And that's why, while my computer will get very hot.
So you get heat release, yeah, but that's not a good thing. There's thermodynamic and kinetic implications here. Where is this? Did he state where this was taking place yet? Did I miss it?
We've gone out of biological now. I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's see where he goes.
Hot. Our brains can put out a lot, and it only puts out 2 watts, 10 watts at the most.
Well, there you go. Okay. And your brain. So that's in a living system, right? Did nature do that? I think he just gave it up right there. Let's let him finish.
Puts out very little heat. Why don't we burn up? Why don't all our cells burn up, in fact? It's because of chiral-induced spin selectivity.
There he's talking about inside. Adam. He's lost the plot. So what is he saying? Maybe he'll make a conclusion. Hold on. Maybe I'm judging him prematurely. Let's see if he makes a conclusion with this.
Can I ask a question?
What he's saying is there's a reason that you don't overheat like a cheap computer.
Yeah.
Because you make sure your components are compatible, having pre-alluded to enantiomers.
Yeah, but what does this have to do with abiogenesis?
Well, like I say, I think he's overloading them with facts apologetically that they're going to have to deal with later on. But this is true, and you can use it to make your argument. It's just, I don't know the argument he's trying to make by bringing this up. I'm back on the defense counsel a little bit.
You shouldn't be.
I shift benches.
You're going to be barred. Go ahead, Brian.
Freelance, baby. I'm freelance.
Freelance.
Go on, Brian. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't trust this Adam guy. He'll just go with whoever's winning at the time. Yeah, what he's actually referring to is the second law of thermodynamics.
Partly, yes.
Because that's like, why do we cool down? Yeah, it is to do with how our body works, but hot always slows to cold. That's why your body's always your body's always going to be slightly warm.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, but where's he? We haven't heard his what is there going to be a conclusion here? Is what I'm looking for. Let me let it go.
Is they're selecting certain spins on electrons to only go through those chiral environments. You had to have chirality at the start of
at the start of what?
Biology.
At the start. So what? How does this?
I know where you're going. I know where you're going. Yeah. Adam, do you want to say it? You guys say it. Okay. Where he's going with is that the body can't have just learned how to do this over a period of time. It has to be able to do this from word go.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Okay. So he might be good. Maybe I've been looking into this a little bit too much. Okay. All right.
It's not something that could have been evolved into.
Evolved? What? What does that mean? Okay.
It had to be there at the start, and we know that now through.
Had to be there at the start. At the start of what?
What had to be there at the start
of what?
Right. He's focusing on this chiral, whatever it is, whatever the molecular nuance is, whether it's an up-down spin of an electron or just a mirror image of a molecule. But the important thing is it had to be there at the start for what? For it to mean something to the biological organism. The lock and key that he's talking about. That's why the D-thyroxine doesn't fit the key. It had to be there at the start. It had to have already been pre-agreed for it to mean something.
I've created a monster.
Chiral-induced spin selectivity. And through that, you can have two hydroxyl radicals go through an antiparallel surface and form hydrogen peroxide. If they go through a parallel surface, a triplet surface, you form oxygen and two protons.
Okay.
And so this is how chemistry happens in our bodies.
So biochemistry now. That's called biochemistry. That's a little different than abiogenesis, sir. Unless he's going to disconnect it. Let's see.
All the time. And we don't burn up. No.
I guess not.
Nobody has shown that the mixtures found in meteorites or interstellar space.
Interstellar space? What the hell?
Could be useful for synthesis.
Did he just say nobody has shown?
Yeah, nobody has shown that the mixtures found in meteorites or interstellar space, Narnia, could be useful for synthesis. That's what he said.
Nobody's ever... Right, so let's not get into meteorites where they come from. The shit hits the ground sometimes, yeah? And fine. And I'll give you those. You can sample that. Well, I'm being generous, Brian. You can sample that all you like, and people do, irrespective of them not being able to prove where it came from, just that it hit the back patio in Arkansas. Yeah, but who's ever been to interstellar space to sample a mixture that could or could not be useful for synthesis? Nonsense. Like QE instantly said, Narnia. So.
Yep.
Because these come as gross mixtures. They couldn't be used. And they'll say, oh, well, we
He's talking about the chirality, right? If you have mixtures of those, it's like the say it, Adam.
So what you mean is, he means even if you invoke space and meteorites, that shit is still like nature and produces a racemic mixture as opposed to life.
Correct. So he's good. He's good with this. Yeah.
We found an amino acid on this meteorite. Okay?
Yeah. So what? And?
What are you going to do with it?
Not much.
Amino acid, you can detect amino acids down to the 1 molecule level by mass spec. But when they come as mixtures of many different compounds, which they always do, they're unusable. Any chemist knows this.
So this is 100% correct.
When you have vast mixtures, you can't use them. That's why.
Who can't use them? Nature?
Even simple chemical reactions that they presuppose be them energetically favorable or not, can't use them. This is what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
If you've got a mixture of shit, nothing happens.
Yeah. But he said you can't use them. Who's you? Nature?
But remember, all these mixtures will be in water.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah. It's a colossal train wreck of a dumpster fire, but he's still losing the plot a little bit. And let's see where he goes.
Nobody has ever used the mixtures that are found in meteorites to try to do chemistry. Nobody's ever solved the mass transfer problem in chemical transformations from small molecules to a cell. So say you had small molecules.
What's mass? We won't go there.
I think when he says the mass.
Second.
Is he not referring to when he says mass? Is he not referring to a grouping as opposed to mass, as in we would normally hear it? Maybe
I don't know.
When he said meteorites, that caused a problem.
You'd have to ask him.
It's mass, as in the mass transfer of people. So in this case, the mass transfer of molecules to form a cell. Yeah.
That's what I was aiming at.
Would you need
Sorry.
to go through and do all the synthetic steps necessary, the thousands of synthetic steps necessary to make a cell? Think about that. Are there any synthetic organic chemists here?
There's you.
Anybody?
Yeah, there's you. We kind of sort of have one in Adam, but he's a poor man's synthetic chemist.
Yeah.
Studying.
Did you say yeah?
Yeah, totally. I specialized in community synthetic organic chemistry, not industrial, which is where this guy is.
No 3 million RPMs or RPSs. Revolutions.
I've not made any little molecular automobiles, no.
Who said the nano Lamborghinis? Who said that? Was that you?
No.
Was that?
No, that was
that was says who, right?
Yeah, Ford Lamborghinis. He said.
He said nano Lamborghinis. That was perfect.
Synthetic organic, worked in a lab doing synthetic organic chemistry? Like nobody? You.
I don't work in a lab, but
you took organic chemistry.
Class.
You what?
I'm a course assistant for a class on organic chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't hear him.
All right, so you know a little bit about organic chemistry. Yeah, okay, nano bit. Okay, so when you work in a lab, what are you always doing? You're always bringing up starting material from the rear. You always have to continue to bring up starting material because...
Does nature continually bring up starting materials? You feeling me, doctor?
Your reactions aren't 100% yield. Say they're 70% yield. So you get 70% in your next step, say 70% in your next step. So you run out of material very rapidly. So you always bring up material from the rear. What happens is, if things were going along happily and molecules are moving toward life on an earlier...
Whoa. That's big. We'll continue past that. That's train wreck.
Earth, and it runs out of starting material. and it took 400 million years to get there. What do you do now? Well, you go back and you make more. But nature never kept a laboratory notebook. It doesn't know how to go back. It doesn't know to go back. It doesn't know what to do.
No, it doesn't know. That's the problem.
It doesn't know what it's doing at all.
That's what I was going to say.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, but I'm happy you got there first.
Yeah, I got there.
Starting material. So
Train
how
wreck
much
of a
starting?
reification.
Say again? Yeah, it's close to you got it, Flatsy. Yeah, it's partly. Yep. Go ahead, Adam.
I don't think that is the case. I think he's attacking the probability ratio via the analogy. And if you want to keep making this reaction, you keep doing it, and you get so far and so much happening, you don't get enough. The way in which the probability ratio is set up is you don't have an indefinite amount of precursory amino acids for you to always draw on, like you do in the lab. Again, a very poorly made but salient point, I think.
Let's see where he finishes it, though, Adam. Like I said, he's still losing the plot a bit with his other confirmational statements from the beginning. Remember, sir, you're talking about abiogenesis or abiogenesis. Remember this. Can you connect some of these thoughts? See.
I need 2 seconds, so I may miss the salient point. I'll be back in literally 2 minutes. But
2 minutes?
I just want to say that Flatsy sounded very kind of bitter now, as if she
kind of bitter.
Yeah, kind of let her down, you know.
Yeah.
After her supporting him. Yeah. Terrible stuff.
Yeah, I can't defend this guy, and my bitterness is a bit of things going on, I guess, in life and in the show.
Yeah, it's palpable. Brian felt it. And this 2 minutes, I can make a friggin' nanobot Lamborghini in 2 minutes, Adam. 2 minutes.
I think he said a coal Lamborghini.
A coal.
Because he was saying, like, yeah.
He didn't say a coal Lamborghini. Says who? You said a nano Lamborghini, didn't you? Is he still here?
I said he makes a nano Lamborghini.
Yeah, you did. I thought you did. That's classic. Yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Again.
Again.
You need tons and tons of all of these in order to do this, to build even the simplest of cells. Nobody's ever figured that out.
Why would they need to figure that out? Wouldn't have nature have had to figure that out? We're talking about abiogenesis, sir. It's disjointed, disconnected drivel. You've lost the plot.
You got. Here's the amino acid problem. There's 20.
Yeah, there's a lot of amino acid problems. Where'd they get all the alphas? Let's see what he says.
Canonical amino acids, 20 amino acids that predominantly 20 amino acids that make us up. 19 of the 20 have a stereogenic center.
Yep.
And it turns out that about half of them have active side chains. So you're not.
Now, what about the 500 known amino acids, sir? What about the alphas? You need the alphas in biology and biochemistry. All the other ones, you only got 23. You got 480 useless ones. In fact, not only useless, but if they commingle in here, you got a football bat. What about that? I guess we're gonna whistle by that.
Not just hooking two ends together.
Not just whistling by that, though, is it? See, this is about how you make a molecule, not what a molecule means. A bit like, how do you write the letter A? How do you write the letter E? Now, lovely. I can now write the letter A and then all the other multitude of letters in the alphabet, and I can put them together. What will it mean?
Nothing.
You're French, I'm English.
Yeah, but he skipped past the alphas. I understand what you're saying, Adam, and you're absolutely correct.
Le grand merde.
But, however, he missed the alphas because there's 480 of them that are not alphas, and if they commingle in here, you're screwed. You've got nothing, and we're talking about biochemistry here. So this is, like I've said, he's lost the plot a bit. Not a bit.
Isn't that why he's raising? I think again he's okay. So to address what's there, nobody has solved the amino acid polymerization problem when bearing active side chain. What he's saying is, it's not like these things you can only randomly react in one place. They have active side chains as well, which would lead to greater. It all seems probability based. What he's pointing out to the evolutionists who believe if you've been given 1 million years, 1 billion years, surely if I've got enough time, this shit could happen. And he's saying no. There's even active side chains that cock things up. That's what I'm.
They'll cuck the whole thing up. If it's not right.
Yeah.
Yep, this is.
There's another end hanging off that can compete for the reactive sites. Once one of those competes, game over. That peptide that you were making is no longer useful for.
Yeah, that's true.
So, so exactly what I said. Yeah.
Yep.
For anything. With the reactive side chains, nobody has ever even made.
Why would they you've lost the plot. This has nothing to do with other people making shit. That destroys their entire worldview. You win. That's what I'm saying. It's getting frustrating, man. You guys understanding me? So no one has ever made that. No. If they did, then that proves your point. Intelligent agency.
You know what? You're starting to sound a little bit like Nathan when somebody says the word altitude. Brian interjects with an explanation that will destroy the argument in full, but Nathan goes, "Ha! You'll need a flat Earth for that." You'll need a flat Earth for that. I can't critique him. He's laying out coldly, undeniably. It's painfully slow, and doesn't seem to be on our side, but everything he said, it's quite powerful if you just listen.
It's correct, slowly. but the underlying message is lost.
That's what I'm saying. It's correct, Brian. But Nathan wants you to go, you'll need a flat Earth for that, instead of you explaining, giving QE enough time to order breakfast, why you'll need a flat Earth for that. QE just wants this guy to jump to, you'll need life for that.
That's a
exactly what he wants him to do. He wants him to go, you'll need life for that. That's the whole purpose of what this guy's slowly and laboriously explaining. You'll need life for that. Or, Well, I've got to support him a bit. He's explaining to numpties and schooling them.
Okay, I think you're off. You're I'm gonna fire your ass.
I know. I've just lost.
Can I just say that for what they're claiming, right, to have happened, right, those who are supporting, that nature was responsible for the creation of itself, what they're claiming to have happened, I don't even know if you could mathematically. I don't even think, actually, and this is from an ignorance point of view, that I don't even think that mathematically you could even make it happen. But if it happened,
If what happened?
Oh, hang on. If what they're claiming to have happened could happen at any point, then you have to remember, nature is not just one cell or one thing. It's everything, as in all the things that are in nature, and then you have us included, the human beings. Where did all those accidents simultaneously happen?
They're not accidents. There's not accidents. You're being too vague.
The point I'm making, according to them, it's an accident. That's the point. They're trying to say that this whole thing was a pure accident.
Well, they're just saying that because they're ignorant.
Yeah, but just give me a second. They're trying to find something out here. You don't want
Booger.
Give him
Give me a
3 seconds.
1, 2, 3.
The point being is that what they need to have happen, right, or have happened, right, the chances of that even happening with one little tiny thing, right, is so vastly impossible that for the whole of life to be created, they need that accident to happen trillions of, quadrillions of times.
No, not
at once.
Not accidents. What about uphill reactions?
I'm talking about what their claim is. I'm not making this as a claim.
I know you're not, but they're not accidents. You don't get accidental second law of thermodynamics violations.
I know, but I'm just talking from their point of view. They don't. But my point is, they don't understand the severity of their claim.
Well, you know why?
Yeah.
Because they're booger eaters.
Peptides, when you have that active side chain there without getting that cross-linking. Once you cross-link...
once you cross-link, once that side chain reacts to any other protein moiety, or amino acid, it's over. Biologically inert. It's done.
It's game over. So
I couldn't have said that better myself.
Nobody's ever solved the polypeptide problem.
Why would they need to solve it? Wouldn't nature need to solve it? Lost the plot.
Nobody's ever been able to take...
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, but exactly. He is. Because how do you put polypeptides together? You can't through... but you can't just stick them together because of the problems of things like side chains. You can't just rely on the basic electrostatics, can you?
It better not be in water either.
Yeah, but this is the point. The way in which you can put polypeptides together like that and negate the effects of side chain is this thing called life. That's what puts polypeptides together like that.
They call it, you know what? Maybe I have this. Hold on a second. The way they do it is a mirror field machine. I remember this from a long time ago. Hold on. Hopefully I got this. So, how do you spell it? Mirror field. It's called dry phase synthesis. I'm sorry, I don't have it here. Just trust me, it takes about 350 steps to make a dipeptide. It's outrageous.
Take these amino acids and make a polypeptide, and plus that the polymerization, the free energy is positive.
Oh, what was that, sir? The free energy? You talking about delta G? Uh-oh, say that one more time, sir. Listen up, Brian.
Peptide, and plus that the polymerization, the free energy is positive, meaning
it doesn't happen spontaneously. It's a second law of thermodynamics violation. You could end your talk right there. Yeah. It's over.
He's on our side.
It doesn't go spontaneously. Even making a dipeptide. So this is what I challenged my Origin of Life colleagues with. I challenged them on YouTube, 10 of them. You know, what else am I going to do? I mean, you could just say these, but I challenged them. If you guys can do this, just make a dipeptide. Don't even make a polypeptide.
That's what I'm talking about. Why are they making them? That would be intelligent agency. You've lost the plot. But this is going back to what I was talking about with the mirror field machine.
Hook 2 amino acids together. Can you do that in a prebiotic relevant manner when you have active site?
What does prebiotic relevant manner? Holy shit, I can't even get it all out. It's so fucking stupid. What does that mean?
It's, can you explain how the Hasselblad camera works, given that I've given you the vacuum of space to traverse through?
Thanks.
Side chain. So you see, this amine is just like that amine. That carboxylic acid is just like that one. How do you deal with that problem? Nobody's ever solved it. You can't even put 2 together.
This a mean, that a mean.
You get an amine, you get one.
You got to put hundreds and hundreds of these.
Well, no, this one is analogous to, don't give me gravity in a 4-dimensional pseudo-Riemannian force space with one body bending the very fabric, when you can't do two bodies, never mind 9. Talk about
the cuck this morning in politics was positing that the Cavendish experiment was confirmed space-time bending. I shit you not.
Cavendish experiment.
What?
I'm telling you, listen to earlier today. I was listening to a live stream earlier today. I nearly pissed myself. Jedi come in there laughing to save the day after an hour of this horse shit and laughed in his face. But I digress.
So, balls in a shed proves space-time.
Listen, I'm just reporting. Okay.
I think James Thor is about to make a point I was making a minute ago.
What?
I said
thousands of times.
Oh my God! What?
I was trying to say something, and you started playing. Then you stopped, and then you said what? And I went to say something again, and then you played, and then you said what again?
Liar!
I'm not a lawyer.
Prove it.
He's getting hungry, Brian.
Yeah. I'm a lawyer. He's about to make the point I was trying to make. That's what I think he's about to make.
Together. You got to put hundreds and hundreds of these together, thousands and thousands of times. Never been solved. Nobody's ever solved the nucleotide problem. If you want to make RNA, you see the 3' is.
Where'd they get the RNA? Why are you on RNA? Where'd they get the pentose sugars from, doctor? You see these guys, these pentose sugars, where'd they get them from? Let's start back at page 0. Let's go to the forward. And then start. You're on that 2-5. Yeah, I used to pummel evotards with these 2-5 linkages back in the day.
It's always hooked up to the 5'.
Pause.
What?
We need to stop getting too excited.
Super 2-5 linkages.
Chow Yun Cat sent 3 crosses.
Well, thank you. Go ahead, Adam.
This is the good stuff. I'm hearing. You're getting excited because every time he's saying it now, you're not disagreeing. You're nodding. Yeah?
No, but he's missing the forest through the trees. These things that he's saying are correct, but conceptually, he's screwing himself.
He's one of these guys, right? You're like a samurai or a medieval knight. You go chop, very effectively and quickly. This is the death of the 1,000 cuts, isn't it?
How do you know? You'd have to know.
I'm hearing it. It's so painfully slow, but it's all detailed without any indictment on the thing. They don't realize the indictment they're accepting as they nod along.
Is this guy paying you, Adam?
No. But if you do listen and realize what he's actually getting them to agree to, it's a bit like you agreeing to gas pressure without containment before he then goes on to point and go, well, yeah, it's very subtle and boring, if I'm being honest, because he's not, I said from the beginning, he's not presenting a position. It is like an old school lecture where you're just being told about polypeptides. We're waiting for the indictment. In a lecture about polypeptides, you don't get the indictment. No, there is one here. You get me? Yep. It's just the fact that he's outlining. It's a bit like that, and we're waiting for him to go da da da, and that means, yeah.
Yep, he's lost the plot.
5', 3', 5'. All the way on through. But every time you try to do this randomly, you get 2' connections.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's a big problem.
Oh, yeah.
2'
Yeah, because that's now a football bat.
connection, it doesn't work. And that hydroxyl group right there will cause other side chain reactions.
So this one.
I say, can you even just put 200 of these together? Because to make RNA, you got to put thousands of these together.
Yep.
Can you even put?
You gotta. Who you talking to? Nature? Are you speaking to nature? You gotta. They ain't gotta. They can't gotta.
200 together without this.
What? When he says you, he means metaphorically the million monkeys on a million typewriters typing for a million years.
Yeah, but then the monkeys are still intelligent, so that throws out all of his. He's talking abiogenesis, Adam. Hello.
But that's the indictment he's kind of saying. You just can't.
He's not kind of saying it.
Can I ask an administrative question real quick?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Is there any way to make that stream that you're playing louder for the people in Discord? Because for some reason, whenever I listen to, I can't. It's hard for me to hear. It's so low compared to everything else. Is that possible or no?
Yeah.
Could you please? I don't know if it's just me, but every time I listen to the stream that you play while I'm in Discord, it sounds like whisper.
This two prime branching occur.
It's you.
It's just me? All right, great.
It's not. I turned it up, but make sure you got it on full volume.
Yeah, I do. There's no way for me to turn it up more.
What kind of, do you got a flip phone or something?
Yeah, Nextel.
Don't worry about chocolate. He called me a lawyer a minute ago.
I worry about it.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry about that.
Occurring without side reactions. None of them has ever come forward saying they could do that.
None of them, like nature's haven't come up to you and say, I can't do that shit.
I challenged 10 of them. I said, go ahead, do this. I told them, if you do this, I will not talk about origin of life anymore.
Oh, Huey. I said pause a second, Nathan. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
I have to agree with you, yeah, Huey, 100%. I'm sorry, Adam. I have to go with Huey. If he was to state what he really should be stating is, none of these people can show me, right, this thing happening in nature. If he was going to address their position at all, no one can show me nature creating nature. No one can show me that. He'd have to be able to, like, as opposed to them creating it, which would involve intelligent design. Yeah, 100%. I'm with Kiwi here. I'm sorry.
Okay. QA, it'd be easy to rehydrate the tears of somebody from, what's your Euphrates?
It'd be easier distilling Alexander the Great's tears out of the Euphrates.
Okay. Put what he's got on screen back up. So to any organic chemist, what he's wrote is exactly that same quip. Polymerize this nucleotide with less than 2% of the 2,5 linked and less than 2% of the 2 branch systems using prebiotically relevant chemistry. That is like a nerd's joke. Yeah?
Yeah.
Look at it. It's taking the piss from anybody that did do organic chemistry. Yeah? It's pointing out the absurd. Go and get Alexander the Great's tears out of the Euphrates.
Distill them.
But that's what he's saying. Yeah, I'm still freelance.
Yeah, but you're missing it, Adam. It's not for them to do it. Yeah, they can't do it. It's for nature to do it.
I don't think that's what's happening here.
But it should be what's happening.
I think he's trying to get a room full of atheist organic chemists to recognize the improbability of what they think is how they got here.
Yeah, but he's missing the forest through the trees.
He's frustrating us But you know, yeah, you have to start at the basics, don't you? Sometimes.
No, you don't. Don't offer me any philosophical jibber jabber. That's it. You're fired.
None of them has ever come forward saying they could do that. I challenged 10 of them. I said, go ahead, do this. I told them, if you do this, I will not talk about origin of life anymore. I will leave you guys alone. You guys can keep saying you've solved this thing. And nobody's come forward. And I said, you know, you don't even have to do it. Just propose how it could be done. And I won't even check you. You'll check yourselves. I let the students grade their own papers. I said, you check yourselves. Never happened.
Superchat.
How about the carbohydrate?
Super check yourself.
Chow Yun Cat said, I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep.
Thank you very much, and that's an outstanding verse. I love that verse. Thank you. Yeah.
Big problem. This is the big problem. Carbohydrates.
You think this is the big problem, huh?
Sugars. Carbohydrates are sugars. If you had 6 A bases, say in DNA, what's the ways you can hook that together? Like one way, A. But if you have 6 glucose molecules, 6 glucose molecules, how many different ways could you hook those 6 molecules together? It's over 1 trillion ways, because each of them has 5 hydroxyl groups that could be involved.
Oh, yeah, they're highly reactive, right? You got a chiral center coming up, I think.
And the coupling. Each one of them has what's
talking here about the stereoisomer. The structure that the way, basically, like Lego. If I've got these many bricks and they've got this many combination possibilities, how do I get a glucose molecule from these carbohydrates? Yeah, is that what he's? The probability to put it together to make that beautiful structure is whatever the numbers he gave.
Yeah, he's saying that they can form a trillion different hexacarides or hexasaccharides through branching. Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Called this anomeric center, so this OH could be.
Not again.
I said that just before Adam spoke. Actually, I tried to come in before Adam there.
That's honestly a damn lie.
I'm not a liar. There must be a lag. What I was going to say is, I think James Torr's problem is obviously it's not his ability to understand chemistry or anything like that. I think his problem is he's not able to sit outside I'm not saying think, I'm saying sit outside the box. Maybe think outside the box. He can't seem to see what his actual opponent's claims are.
No, he's lost the plot.
He's not.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Waterboard. No, he's waterboarding you.
No, he's not. He's not waterboarding
You're just happily filling up your sinuses.
No, he's not.
Now.
No, he's not. He's not waterboarding him. He's not T-jumping him. He's not waterboarding him.
You don't know. In a minute, right? All of your sinuses and all your orifices will fill up with water without you realizing, and then you'll have to choke on the reality of what you've had.
Not gonna happen
in your head.
It's not gonna happen. He already compromised himself. This is just gravy. He's already finished back here.
Up or down. They could close as a 5-membered ring or a 6-membered ring, as you see here, or they could be in an open form. You put all of those combinations for all 6 of those. 6 glucose molecules can hook together over 1 trillion ways. Every disease in a cell is accompanied by a carbohydrate problem in hooking together. You hook these together wrong, the cell dies. It'll never have life. It's a big problem. That's how information is stored in a cell. If you
what?
You hook them. Who hooks them together?
What? And that's how information is. That made no sense. Number one, that wasn't a coherent statement from the premise to the conclusion. Number one. Number two, where's the information at in sugars? Where at? Let's hear it. Let's see if he shows.
You think DNA stores the information? It does. But there's
stores it where?
Much more information that you can store in carbohydrates than you can in DNA.
Is there carbohydrates in DNA? You would think. RNA, DNA, deoxyribose, RNA, ribose. That was a little dirty pool you just pulled. By the way, and where's the information at? I want to see it.
DNA or RNA. Much more, because of the diversity of ways that you can hook this together.
The diversity of ways that you can hook stuff together, or the ways you can manipulate the medium, has nothing to do with the information itself. Conceptually, philosophically, it's a train wreck. Counselor. Okay.
Let me ask. So, are you saying that he's right? He's just messing up the message that he's trying to portray?
No, in this case, for the most part, yes. But there's been cases such as this, but he's been screwed up with information. Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
Could you enlighten us as to what exactly you're talking about? Because you have to remember, majority of people here are not biochemists.
No, well, you don't have to be a biochemist. I talked about this before, about the medium and the information. The medium is not the information. These glucoses or pentose sugars or whatever you have, that's not the information. That's the medium.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I understood you earlier, but now I get what you mean.
That's the piece of paper that the message is written on. That's what you're saying.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's irrelevant. Because I could say, look out, there's a tiger behind you. I can make them in pebbles, Fruit Loops, smoke signals, right? Medium's arbitrary. It's irrelevant. Green, I can make them out of green cheese. Wouldn't make a difference.
You're separating the information from the matter.
Yep. Because it's not.
I understand. Yeah. I just didn't understand what you meant there and then. I understood it earlier, but I didn't understand there and then. Sorry, I'll leave it there.
That's okay. Yeah, it's a good point. I'm glad you stopped me. Oh, counselor.
Yeah, I mean, right, I might want to change my position from death by 1,000 cuts.
How many times have you changed your position today?
I've told you, I'm feeling like I'm Jaren this evening. I'd like to identify this evening as Jaren.
Please don't insult yourself like that, please, Adam. I like it. Please, thanks.
I know I've compromised myself too many times, Chocolate. It's the only place I can go right now.
What's up with Neil? Neil wanted to add something. Go ahead, Neil.
There used to be a show called Flipper.
Oh, that's Flipper? Who Adam is? Are you Flipper?
Flipper.
No, I'm on Fantasy Island right now.
The plane.
Every one of these polymers is an information coding system.
It's not an information coding system.
I said, don't even make 6. Just hook 2 glucose molecules together with this chemistry. Nobody could do it.
Why would they have to?
Just put 2. Now, you can do this with modern techniques.
With modern techniques, you like man-made synthetic pathways and watching those starting materials and many other things. What does that have to do with abiogenesis? Nothing.
Block certain things. It's hard, but you can do it, but not in a prebiotically relevant manner.
What's that mean? So nature can't do it, right? Only man can do that with some serious equipment. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
if that's what he's saying, then he's good.
Because of electrostatics.
If he would stop saying, you jerk. If he would stop saying in a prebiotic manner and just say nature, he might have lasted up until now.
Nobody
you can
could do
see
it.
why that
So how could
reaction, though, isn't energetically favourable, can't you? Like, anybody with chemistry can see why that would be so hard to stick those two things together. And it just doesn't make sense. It wouldn't happen there. There's no energetic reason. Yeah, the electrostatics of the two molecules, yeah, wouldn't happen. The only way you could do it is, like you say, synthesize it in a lab or have life do that within a cell. Either way, it doesn't happen through chemistry per se. Yeah, that's not for those things to go together. Isn't chemistry. You've either got to force them together in a lab, or it kind of happens through life within a cell. It will do this amazing.
I want him
thing.
to see him make glucose. Forget the polymerization yet.
Yeah, but that's the point. We're nowhere near that. He's challenging people to stick two together, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I come down hard on you. If I could get medieval on you and have him show oxygen. Oh boy.
Ever be close to solving life? The stability problem. What you do is you take a half-life. So if you have a mole of molecules, 6 times 10 to the 23rd.
Oh, he's talking Adam's love language.
Molecules, and it has a half-life of 100 days in water, say. So you'll just have half of those many around. But if you only have one molecule that happened to form that might be of the right sequence, how long would that molecule last? So say you had a 600 mer of RNA, which is rather short RNA, actually. If RNA has a half-life of 100 days, you have to convert that half-life to a probability now, because you're dealing with a single molecule, and that turns out you have 4 hours. So this whole idea that, oh, in origin of life, you have billions of years. Time is the enemy. For organic chemistry, time is the enemy. Everything falls apart.
Nicely done. That's correct. Yeah. He's feeling his oats now, Adam. Is he gonna come out and make a stand?
Half-lives. I'm not going there.
You're not going? Okay.
I'm not going to do
Everything
it because
falls
that is
apart.
the biggest quantum headbend.
The mainstream claims that time is
Yeah, well, he's given a 600 mer RNA.
Time is what fucks everything up.
Holy shit. What are you on? 80-second friggin' reverb?
I'm driving, man. Sorry.
And he can't hear.
I'm going to drive you.
The satellites aren't kicking in, man.
Yeah, bet. Where's he getting the 600 mer RNA, Adam? Where's he getting RNA? Where's he getting carbon?
Corner store.
Hey, Neil. Come out. I'll give you a corner store.
That's what happens. So if you have a single 200 mer polypeptide in water, has a lifetime of 13 days for polypeptide. So time, this whole idea that time is
Whoa, polypeptide, where'd they form in water? Show that one. What the hell is this? A single 200 a single 200 mer polypeptide. What? Didn't you just talk about that they're not happening in water?
No. Chill.
What?
Let's read it. Oh, I didn't know where he was going with half-lives. I was thinking, that's why I said I'm not going into half-lives. Right. Quantum head screw, right? If a 600
not that one
sample of RNA, right? Irrespective, what he's saying here is, look at this. Even if this shit could randomly come together, it decomposes via chemical process, right, over this half-life if it's not sustained by life.
Yeah, but he just said, yeah.
This shit let me finish.
Yes, I understand. I understand what he's doing.
I wasn't
but he's
talking to you, was I?
Adam is informing the audience, which is good. Thanks, Adam.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Brian is informing us that Adam is informing the audience. Thank you, Brian.
I'm informed.
Nathan is informing ye that Brian, that's me, is informing everyone that Adam is informing the audience. Thank you, Nathan.
Informer. Blah, 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 yeah.
Licky bum bum down.
I feel thoroughly misinformed.
Yeah. And disinformed. Guess what? That's it for today.
Ah, no.
Ah, yeah.
Ah, yes.
Oh, come on.
Ah, yes.
Ah, no.
Right, with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both the Ballbusters panel and anybody in the public part of this section that we didn't actually do today. But of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the live stream audience for smashing the super chat, joining as QE's member, hitting him up on PayPal, all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Massive thank you to Quantum Eraser himself, and we will see you all in next Ballbusters.
All of your gullible idiot followers should be realizing right now that you are an idiot or you are a liar. You said you would get turned away at gunpoint. I did not get turned away at gunpoint. You lied, Nathan.
The sun is shining, he's alone, raging into his iPhone, screaming at the top of his lungs as a 24-hour sun. Oh, how we laughed in this flat land, at such a comical sight. To see the tune, the globe head goose spewing out his shite. Shouting! Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I'd see. I'm all alone here raging. Everyone loves and bleed. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? This is our secret bit. Not come all this distance just for you to take the piss. The ice wind's blowing, here he goes, pacing like a lunatic, upside down on a spinning globe, but the best is yet to come. Oh, how we laughed in this flat land, that's such a comical sight. To see me tune the glove head goon spewing out his size, swinging. Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I'd see. I'm all alone here raging. Everyone laughs at me. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? Listen, our secret place. I've not came all this distance for you to take the piss. The sun is shining, he's alone, reaching into his iPhone, screaming at the top of his lungs as a 24-hour sun. Oh, how came all this distance just for you to take the past.
I talked to you about Antarctica. You deflected the measurements. You are a dumb liar. Every single one of your dumb followers needs to look at their lives and realize Nathan Oakley is a liar. Since 2016, he's been saying if you go to Antarctica, you will be faced with gunpoint and turned away. Where's the guns, Nathan? Where's the guns? I don't see any guns, Nathan!